A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
This I believe. For 10 years, Virginia Pruitt fought in Latin America as a correspondent for the Washington Post and the Chicago Sun Syndicate. Brazil awarded her its highest honor, the Order of the Southern Cross, for her reporting. She grew up in the newspaper business. At 18, she was editor of a weekly in her native Gordonsville, Tennessee. Discouraged by a losing battle for freedom in South America, she lost herself in the interior of Brazil. Her book, Beyond the Great Forest, tells of that flight, from which Virginia Pruitt now distills her beliefs.
I have had an unusual chance to decide what I believe. A few years ago, I abandoned an active career as a foreign correspondent and plunged into a South American wilderness to think things out. Earlier, during the Second World War and afterwards, I had worked intensely in the often perilous job of reporting on dictatorship throughout Latin America. When Juan Perón crushed freedom in Argentina, my despair was so great I felt that I must go far away to a new place where I could find peace and build a new life. I went to the highland forests of inner Brazil, where I bought virgin timberland to clear for a farm. I did not find haven there, but instead discovered that when I left my responsibilities behind, I began something like a flight from life itself. Through this experience, I discovered that trying to escape from my problems led to a dangerous disorganization of life and purpose. I learned that retreat from life is only a step from seeking death. Even before I went to the Brazilian forest, I had accepted the biblical teaching that I should try to forget my narrow self and look outward. I did forget myself in the fight over press freedom in Argentina, but I had to learn something more, that to use life with proper appreciation, I must not be dismayed and try to run away when a good fight fails. As I struggled to start a farm in the Brazilian forest, I learned how true it is that there is no such thing as an unimportant person. The illiterate Brazilian backlanders are untaught, but not unintelligent, and in my very difficulties with one man named Manuel, I came to see what he was striving for. Manuel is dead now, but before he died, he made me understand his problems, which were those of dispossessed people the world over. Manuel made me understand that the drive of men like himself, who are in revolt, is not just a belly drive, but the instinct of survival, energizing a strong need for the full expression of each rebel's individual personality. I have been passing on Manuel's story, so in the end this backlander, who could not read or write, may affect the lives of millions like himself. I believe that heaven wants us to be happy as well as good, but for that we must love and earn love. I have found my personal haven not in a forest retreat, but in a happy marriage. Every normal person wants to love and to be loved. What we are not taught is how to achieve this. I believe that the cultivation of tenderness is the way. I believe this so strongly that I feel the Bible's tremendous trilogy, Faith, Hope, and Love, really means faith, hope, and tenderness. A great English psychologist has traced the tensions and aggressiveness of Western civilization to what he calls the tenderness taboo, and I am convinced that only when we break through this taboo can we begin to be happy. Though as a woman I was brought up in a tradition of gentleness, I've had to learn how to break across this taboo so strong in our civilization. I have learned that happiness comes with the daily performance of small positive acts of kindness, appreciation, and loyalty toward those I love. By experience, I know my own capacity for tenderness, with all the release and happiness it brings, grows as I practice it. I'm sure that for either a man or a woman, this practice of love toward the people nearest can build a soul a citadel against all assaults.
That was Virginia Pruitt, author and journalist, who now lives in New York City.
Crime Photographer.
Hello, Pete. But say, you know,
I was asking a guy in here the other night to name me one of the oldest industries in America beginning with the letter G.
I can see what you were leading up to.
Yeah, but you know, he's been listening to our program, and he says right away, glass making.
Right, Ethelbert, it is glass making. And one of the oldest institutions in the industry is Anchor Hawking, the world's largest makers of household glass. Crime Photographer, brought to you by Fire King Oven Glass. Anchor glass containers, Anchor caps and closures. All products of Anchor Hawking, a great name in glass. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Marvin. Every week at this time, the Anchor Hawking Glass Corporation brings you another adventure of Casey, crime photographer, ace cameraman who covers the crime news of a great city. Written by Alonzo Dean Cole, our adventure for tonight, The Duke of Skid Row. Midnight. A dingy, poverty-stricken street of gloomy tenements and cheap lodging houses. Above the uninviting door of one of these latter places swings a dimly lighted sign that identifies the Davis Hotel, $1 per night. A taxicab stops in front, and a tall, very thin man alights from it. His clothes are shabby but clean and well-fitting. In one eye is a monocle, in his hand a jaunty walking stick.
How much do I owe you, please?
The meter says $2.70.
It is $5. Keep the change.
Huh? Say, thanks.
Good night.
Hey.
Yes?
You know, cabs ain't easy to find in this part of town. Do you want me to wait for you?
No. I should not be going out again tonight.
Meaning you live in that flea bag?
You may draw your own conclusion about my residence in the Davis Hotel.
Oh, no offense, mister. Thanks again, and good night.
Good night.
Hello, Duke.
Good evening, Davis.
I stand at the window when you get out of that cab. What's the big idea?
I do not understand.
Cab rides cost dough. You owe me over a week's rent.
Oh, that little matter. The sum of my indebtedness to you is, how much?
$5 for last week, and you're 2 days into this one.
Here is $20.
Hey, where'd you get that kind of dough?
You may keep the change.
Huh?
I'm leaving this place tomorrow morning.
Really?
For good. Give me the key to my room, please.
Ah, sure, Duke. Where are you going from here?
My name is not Duke. It is Smythe. Mr. Smythe. I am going to live like a gentleman again. Good night.
Night, Mr. Smythe.
Mr. Davis.
Yeah?
I do not wish to be disturbed tonight. Again, good night.
Huh. $20 he gives me. It's more than he asked me for the lend of a nickel. I can't figure that guy out. Hello, gents. What can I do for you?
A man came into this place just now. A man that wore a monocle and carried a walking stick.
What about it?
We saw him go upstairs. So you must be a guest of this, hotel.
Who are you guys?
We will ask the questions and give the answers.
Hey, what's the idea?
We will not harm you if you do as you are told.
You will take us to the room of that man with the monocle.
Okay.
And be very quiet.
Yeah. His room's on the next floor, up them stairs.
You first, just ahead of us.
Sure. What you two gents want with the Duke?
The Duke?
Is that what he calls himself?
That's what we call him around here. It's just a gag. I don't know nothing about him, gents. He ain't no pal of mine. I don't know nothing about the dough he had tonight, neither.
Dough? What do you mean by that?
That's what you hear about, ain't it? You're after the money he got someplace.
This man you call Duke had money tonight?
I only saw $20, sir, but he gave me the idea how...
Never mind. Take us to his room and get him to open the door. He must think you are alone.
If you wish to live, my friend, do not let him know that anyone is with you.
I get it. There's his door.
Knock.
Who is there?
It's Davis, Duke.
What do you want?
I got to talk to you, man.
I told you I do not want to be disturbed.
It's about a personal matter, Duke. Open the door.
Oh, very well.
Wie geht's, Anton?
Oh, no respect.
You? Okay.
Please.
You are going with us, Anton.
No, I beg. And you will go quietly. Don't.
Oh. You slugged him with that gun.
Quiet, innkeeper. It was necessary.
Now, for you, innkeeper, here is $100.
That C note for me?
Put it in your pocket.
Oh, thanks.
It is in payment for your services and for what we are now compelled to do.
Well, what do you mean by that?
This.
Well, Captain Logan, that conk on the head was the last thing I knew till I come to. Then I got myself downstairs and phoned you cops.
You came to in here, Davis?
Yeah, here in Duke's room. They slugged him and me. Duke and them two guys were gone, also the Duke's suitcase and everything he had in this room. Just like I told precincts cops would get here ahead of you, Captain.
Davis, what name was the Duke registered under here?
Smith, John Smith.
Now tell me all you know about this Duke, Davis.
He checked in about 2 months ago. I figured him for one of them European refugees who run out of dough. During the last couple of weeks, he run completely out of it. He hung me up for his room and was getting his only meals at the mission soup kitchen.
You say he acted like a guy who once had plenty.
Yeah, not just plenty dough. He acted like a Duke in the movies. That's how we gave him his name. He used big words and spoke a lot of languages.
Oh, what nationality do you think he was?
No one could dope that. He never said.
You're going to be a big help to me. And the two men who came here for him were foreigners, you say?
Well, they give out in a foreign language a couple of times, but I didn't get any of it. I only parley good American.
Well, come on down to headquarters with me. You may find their pictures in our files.
Okay.
You take charge here, Sergeant.
Yes, Captain.
Hey, what's that?
Just getting a picture of you, mister. You too, Logan.
Oh, so you're here, Casey.
Yeah. Annie and I have been getting the yarn from the precinct cops who got here first. We were just going to start upstairs for a get-together with you.
You learned anything new, Captain?
If you got the story from the precinct guys, Miss Williams, you got all of it.
Oh, but what do you think about it?
How can I know what to think yet? I haven't anything to work on, and I won't have until I can learn more about this Duke and the guys who took him out of here.
Their descriptions have already gone out.
Naturally. The precinct guys got that on the radio and teletype first thing. I'm taking Davis to headquarters now to look at pictures.
Wait, Captain, that's my fault.
The sergeant will handle it, Davis. Hello?
Miss Williams and I will follow your car to headquarters, Logan.
Okay, Casey.
Yeah.
Now, let's go.
Captain, wait.
What is it, Sergeant?
Second precinct on the phone, sir. One of their men has found the Duke.
Found the Duke?
Well, the description fits all right, and the guy is dead.
I'll talk to second precinct. Hello, Captain Logan speaking. Where is the body found? Hanged. Underneath the dock.
Casey.
This is getting interesting, Annie.
Say that again. He'd been tortured before he was hanged, huh?
Very interesting, Casey.
I'll be right over. Goodbye.
Seems you've just learned more about the Duke and the guys who snatched him, Logan.
Yeah. Or have I?
Fire King Oven Glass makes housework so much easier. Cuts dishwashing time, for example, by a full 2/3, and makes successful cooking practically a certainty. In fact, Fire King has so many points to recommend it that sometimes we overlook one of the most important facts about it, and that is cost. Fire King casseroles and baking dishes, Fire King Oven Glass pie plates and mixing bowls, and all the other Fire King Oven Glass dishes you will find at your favorite chain, variety, hardware, and department store are almost unbelievably low in cost. And each piece is guaranteed for a full 2 years against oven breakage. Ask for Fire King Oven Glass by name. It's a product of Anchor Hawking. A great name in glass.
Come into my office.
Thanks, Captain.
You better sit down, Annie. Still look a little unsteady.
I am.
what that poor guy must have gone through before they strung him up.
A sweet pair of killers did that job. And I still haven't a single lead to him.
Logan, you sent Davis down here to look at pictures.
Davis didn't find the kidnapper's pictures or one of the Duke either.
Of course, your guys are trying to find the cab driver who dropped the Duke at his hotel tonight.
Sure, they've been checking the hack stand since Davis told his story, but that'll probably take some time.
Well, that driver can tell you where the Duke got into his cab, which may help you find out where he got his sudden wealth tonight.
That money must have been the motive for the murder.
Come in.
We found that cab driver, Captain. The one who drove that Duke guy to Skid Row tonight.
Oh, that's fast work, boys. Bring him in.
Yes, sir. In here, fella.
Okay. My name's Pincus, Captain. Milton Pincus. Hack license 100-208.
Sit down, Pincus.
Thanks. Your cops have told me what you want to know, so I won't waste your time or mine. The skinny guy with the cane and the one-window eyeglass I took to that joint on Skid Row, I picked him up on a call.
A telephone call?
That's right, a phone call which tells me to come to 300 Summit Road, which is Mr. Matthew Brinsley's residence.
What?
Matthew Brinsley's?
Yes, sir. So I go there, rings the doorbell, the butler says to wait a minute, and then the skinny guy with the eyeglass comes out and gets into my hack.
He came out of the Brinsley mansion?
Yeah, but he didn't look to me as if he had two dimes to rub together. And when he told me the place where he wanted to go...
The Davis Hotel?
That's the joint. Well, when we get there, to my surprise, he hands me $5 and says, keep the change.
Ah. What time did you drop him off at the hotel?
Around midnight.
That fits Davis's story.
Did your passenger have you make any stops between the Brinsley house and the hotel?
No, sir.
Well, did he talk to you during the ride? Tell you anything about himself?
I didn't hear a word from the guy after he told me where to go until he got out.
Now, when your fare got out at the Davis Hotel, did you see anyone on the street who might have been watching him, waiting for him to show up?
Yeah, I noticed two guys standing in the doorway across the street.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't pay them no attention. The only thing on my mind was to get out of that lousy neighborhood where there was no business for cabs.
You drove away immediately, huh?
Yep.
Okay, Pincus, you can go.
Thanks, Captain. I want to get back on my job. So long.
So long.
How do you like the Duke's connection with Matthew Brinsley, Logan?
That's a hot one, isn't it?
Brinsley's a multimillionaire.
Yeah, now that cab driver says the Duke had dough. Enough to give big tips.
You know, Brinsley's been in several jams that his money's got him out of, Casey.
Yeah, I know. For receiving stolen property.
Oh, Casey, a man with his wealth?
Oh, he's no offense, Annie. He's a collector of historical antiques. He's a bug on the subject.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to see what Brinsley has to say about this business.
When?
I'd like to go right now. I probably couldn't get into his place at this unholy hour. Let's grab a few hours' sleep. Get out there first thing in the morning.
Well, okay, Logan. I'll be with you.
Quite a joint, this Brinsley mansion, Casey.
Yeah, I'll say.
I'll probably interrupt the old guy's breakfast, but here goes his doorbell.
Hey, hold it, Logan. Someone's opening the door.
Huh? What is it?
Good morning. We'd like to see Mr. Brinsley.
I'm Brinsley, but I can't talk to anybody now. I'm on my way to the bank.
I'm a policeman, Mr. Brinsley.
Huh?
Here's my shield and identification. I'm Captain Logan of the Homicide Bureau.
Homicide? Very well. Come inside.
Thanks.
Halt!
Yes, sir.
Tell the chauffeur to wait. I'll be slightly delayed.
Yes, Mr. Brinsley.
Sit down, Captain, and...
My name is Casey.
What are you gentlemen here for? I haven't committed any homicide.
Mr. Brinsley, you had a visitor last night. A tall, thin, shabbily dressed man who wore a monocle.
What about him?
I want you to tell me all you know about him.
Why?
He was murdered after he left your house.
No, I haven't seen him, Mrs. Wheelbreaker. Huh? Oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah, sure, Mrs. Wheelbreaker. Oh, dear. These women. Here's your drinks, Casey, Miss Williams.
Thanks, Ethelbert. I was hoping you'd show up pretty soon.
So it was just a heart attack that killed the old guy, Casey. He wasn't murdered.
Brinsley's death was a perfectly natural one, Ethelbert.
Oh, not altogether, Casey. From what you told me, the shock of hearing about the Duke brought on the attack.
Yeah. At first, I figured the Duke sold something to Brinsley. Some antique he'd stolen, maybe.
Yes, but Logan hasn't been able to find anything that Brinsley might have bought from the Duke. And as Brinsley wasn't out of his house after the Duke left it last night.
There wasn't nothing in that leather bag Brinsley took into his study?
No, nothing but some very legitimate bonds.
That's what he was taking to the bank.
Yeah, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
The way that old guy hung onto his bag, even after his heart began to kick up. And he insisted on going into his study alone, and he closed the door. He was in there long enough to have taken something out of the bag and hidden it away.
Logan searched, you say?
Oh, sure. Desk drawers and places like that. He looked for a safe in the room, and there wasn't any.
Okay, see, if he should find something Brinsley bought from the Duke, it still wouldn't solve the Duke's murder.
Annie, I've got a hunch it would.
Well, now, I don't see how.
I think those two well-dressed foreigners who went to the hotel for the Duke were looking for the thing he sold to Brinsley. And I think if they believed that they could still get their mitts on it, they just might... Hey, Annie.
What?
Logan said he was going to the Brinsley house again. He ought to be there about now. Let's you and me go there and join him.
I got the same idea you got, Casey, so my men are giving that study in there a real going over right now.
That's swell, Logan.
Well, what do you know about that? It isn't often that you two have the same big ideas at the same time.
Well, it's merely coincidental.
I had a first-class basis for mine, Miss Williams, not one of Casey's hunches.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, I've checked with Brinsley's bank, and they told me that 2 days ago he withdrew $30,000 in cash. Now, they record serial numbers when dough is passed out in chunks like that. And the $20 bill the Duke gave Davis last night has one of those numbers.
Brinsley must have bought something from the Duke.
What could he have paid the Duke $30,000 for?
Captain Logan.
Yeah, Sergeant?
We found something.
Let's see.
Come on, Annie.
There, Captain.
That big leather chair.
What?
Wait till I show you. I'm used to trick hiding places, but this is one of the neatest I've run into. Look, when you press these 3 ornamental nails at the same time...
The seat rises.
Big cavity underneath.
What's that thing in it?
It looks to me like one of those gimmicks the King of Spades wears on his head.
Casey, it's a crown. It's a gold crown.
Yeah.
It's not much of a crown. It's gold, but there are no jewels on it.
I was just saying to myself, Captain, why hide that thing? It ain't worth more than $100.
It's probably worth $100,000, Sarge.
Huh?
It's old and antique. Can't you see that?
That crown would have fitted nicely in Brinsley's little bag, Logan. He may have thought you knew the Duke had sold it to him, that you'd search for it. So he took it out of the bag and put it in that trick chair before his heart gave out.
I know all that, Casey, but now, how will that thing lead us to the killers?
Well, Logan, the good old power of the press can lead them to us.
What do you mean?
Now, look. The only metal in this chair are the nails and coil springs. And when that crown gets back under the seat, it'll show up nicely in an X-ray picture.
X-ray picture?
Yeah. That the Morning Express will be carrying in all its editions tomorrow. With a nice story that you'll write, Annie.
Well, okay, but what'll I write?
An invitation to the death house.
Oh, 2:00 in the morning.
And we've been sitting here in the dark for almost 6 hours.
Well, they couldn't have a more comfortable place to sit in the dark. Old man Brinsley put nice chairs in his house.
You know, Casey, I don't think those men will come here.
I don't either, Miss Williams. Only chumps would fall for that stuff in the Express this morning.
Well, aren't murderers chumps?
Your come on was too broad, Casey. That X-ray picture showing the crown and that leather chair and Miss Williams' story.
It was a darn good story, Logan.
Thank you very much. I gave a reasonable explanation for that picture. I explained that the police, in looking for clues, had to take X-ray shots of almost everything in the house. Because Brinsley's executors wouldn't let the police tear things apart or remove anything from the house.
You made it sound very logical, Annie.
I played up the crown shown inside that chair as a big mystery to the cops.
Yeah.
Well, naturally, I didn't say that it was a trick chair that you'd been able to open. And I gave a reasonable explanation for everything else in our come-on, too. For the house being empty of servants tonight, and for...
Well, the real come-on outside of that picture was the truth she wrote about the Duke's connection with Brinsley. The Duke undoubtedly told his murderers about that connection under torture, Logan. The man's story will clinch it.
I hope you're right, but...
Quiet.
Yeah, I hear.
Somebody's moving toward the study.
I think someone's taken advantage of that rear window we left open, Logan.
We'll soon see.
There he is. With a flashlight.
He won't be able to see us behind this screen. There's only one guy. Hey, Logan, he's making for that leather chair.
flashing the tip of a knife, isn't he?
Look, and he's got the crown.
That's enough. Stick up your hands.
What?
We've been waiting for you, mister. You're under arrest for murder.
Murder?
Yes. Murder of the Duke, known as John Smith.
Where's your pal who helped you kill the Duke?
I am here. Put up your hand.
Huh?
Casey.
My brother is an expert marksman. You will do as he says.
Where is he?
I am in the dark, where you cannot see me. Drop your gun.
Yes, he's got us, Logan.
Yeah. Okay.
You are wise. Now.
But how silly they were a minute ago. My brother, they thought I had walked into their trap alone.
These Americans are very simple people, Tito. I see you have the crown.
Yes. At last.
Now, our labor is almost done.
Why did you guys want that bum hunk of gold so badly?
Father, he
Quiet,
calls it...
Tito. He do not know what it is. He called this bum hunk of gold.
Huh? Well, what is it?
We have no time to answer your question or the inclination. Besides, it is foolish to satisfy the curiosity of soon-to-be dead people.
Soon to be...
I am sorry. If you live, you might cause great trouble. For the good of my country and for my brother and me, you must die.
Shoot them, Baba. Now.
Yes, Tito. Now.
Sergeant, turn on the light.
We got him all right, Captain Logan.
We were dependent on you, Sergeant.
But thanks just the same.
And the next time, Logan, tell your men to crash in just a few seconds earlier.
You had these policemen hidden.
And we Americans aren't so simple as you seem to think, mister.
Now, suppose you smart un-Americans tell us why you killed the Duke.
We say nothing.
We say nothing at all.
Yes, you will, brothers. Yes, you will.
Get him to talk fast, Captain. We've got to get this story to press.
You get the story, Annie. I'm going to get a couple of shots of these crown chasers and get them to the office.
Okay, Casey, I'll meet you there as soon as I can.
The traditional harvest moon is more than a month away, but already throughout America, most of the golden harvest of fruits and vegetables has been garnered, packed away for your use in the months to come. Now, the finest of these food products come to you in clean, sterile, crystal clear glass containers, and for a very good reason. The glass container lets you see exactly what you buy before you buy it, and the glass container protects the natural flesh flavor of its contents. A very large number of these finer products of field and orchard, of range and sea, come to you in crystal clear anchor glass containers sealed with tamper-proof anchor caps. Products of Anchor Hawking. A great name in glass.
Logan made them guys talk, huh, Casey?
Sure, Ethelbert.
Oh, it wasn't too hard a job. After Davis positively identified them as the men who came to his hotel for the Duke.
Tell me what they said.
Well, to begin with, pal, they told us the Duke wasn't really a Duke.
Oh, I knew that all along.
He was only a count.
Huh?
He was an honest cigar count, too, Ethelbert. From one of those little European principalities that went out of business after the First World War.
Yeah, and the Duke, I mean the Count, was a relative of the king who'd lost his job. And he was also custodian of the royal crown, Ethelbert. He scrammed the United States with all that dough that he could lay his mitts on, and the sacred crown.
Only the money gave out after a while, and he had only the crown left. So he finally sold the crown to Brinsley.
But the guys who killed him?
They were stubborn royalists, Ethelbert. Fanatics about restoring their king, who had to have his traditional crown if and when he was restored. They went after the Duke and finally caught up with him. They forced him to tell what he'd done with the crown, and then they killed him.
See, they considered the guy a traitor, Ethelbert, so they gave him the traditional punishment for traitors, hanging.
They even tied a real hangman's knot. They thought were a legal execution.
Well, in their screwy minds, it was a legal execution.
Some people are certainly funny.
Yeah.
But as my sister Edna says, quote, if all folks was like you and me, wouldn't the world be dull? Unquote. And you know Edna.
Crime Photographer is directed by John Dietz and stars Stotts Cotsworth as Casey. It is written by Alonzo Dean Cole and is based on the fictional character of Casey created by George Harmon Cox. If you're inconvenienced by returning beer and ale bottles, here's good news. Anchor Hocking has pioneered a new kind of bottle, so inexpensive that it requires no deposit. It will shortly be released for civilian use. Watch for it. The more convenient Anchor Glass one-way, no-deposit bottle. A product of Anchor Hocking. A great name in glass. Our cast features Miss Leslie Woods as Anne and John Gibson as Ethelbert, with Herman Chittison at the Blue Note piano. The original music is by Archie Blyer. Crime Photographer is brought to you each Thursday at this time by the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation of Lancaster, Ohio, and its more than 10,000 employees. Anchor Hocking. A great name in glass. This is CBS, Columbia Broadcasting System.
This I believe. Actors and actresses sometimes lose themselves in the land of make-believe. But character actress Virginia Sale has come to grips with the realities of everyday life. Off stage, she is Mrs. Sam Wren of New York City, mother of 15-year-old twins. Now she states her creed.
On a plane flying from Chicago to New York recently, my seat companion was a young girl who gave me a friendly smile as I sat beside her, but whose young face showed great sadness. Hesitantly, she told me she was on her way to the funeral of her 17-year-old brother, who had been killed in Korea. She also told me that her only other relatives were two brothers, both in the service, and that they had lost their oldest brother in the war in Europe. I wanted to say something to comfort her. I felt so useless. All I could say was, "I'm so sorry." And I thought, just what can I do to help bring order and hope into the world today? And the thought came to me, I can pray, and my prayers will tune in with other sincere prayers to create a mighty force for good and for peace in the world. As a young girl, I was fortunate in having old-fashioned religious parents. And I often think of the old hymn my good father sang so lustily as I stood beside him in church. I need thee every hour. As I've grown older, my philosophy has changed, in a way. I don't think of God now as an old man with a long gray beard sitting up on a throne. I believe in a practical religion. What good is it unless I can use it to help solve my daily problems, large or small? I am grateful for what to me are the most worthwhile things in my life. A happy marriage, a good husband, and a son and daughter who become infinitely finer as they grow up. Success in my theatrical careers comes second to these. However, no matter what my material blessings may be, I realize that my happiness must come from within myself. I can't get back anything that I don't give out. Anybody knows that a sure cure for the blues is to get out and do something nice for someone else. I've had a wonderful opportunity on my tours with my one-woman show to meet fine, good people in every one of the 700 towns I've played. From them, I know that good people predominate in every part of this country. I love my work. I believe that laughter is a great soul cleanser, and I pray that my audiences may somehow be better off for having seen my show. I believe in blessing everything and everybody along the way. Sometimes I may let stage fright and nerves rob me and my audience of my best performance. I have failed if I haven't beforehand blessed everyone in my audience, everyone backstage, and when I'm working in television, radio, or motion pictures, everyone in the studio, my fellow actors and the director and technicians. I admire their courage, their good-hearted, generous qualities. What do I mean by blessing? Well, I first have a deep sense of gratitude to an audience and a feeling of goodwill and good wishes, so that I know there is complete harmony between them and me, and I know they will like me because I really like them, that we will tune in together. My late brother, the great character actor and comedian, Charles Chick Sales, said to me one time when we were talking about spiritual things and about being perfect channels for expression, "The thing to do, kiddo, is to stay in character, be God's child." And I try never to forget this.
That was Virginia Sale, who has played character roles in almost every dramatic medium from summer stock to television, but who casts herself, first of all, as a sensitive citizen of the world.
Crime does not pay.
I see. So that's where Pig Eye was heading. Who's that he's talking to? Hey, you see that? Look like the sun on Pig's mouth. Nah, he wouldn't. Not in broad daylight. But he did. The guy's lying there. Let's get him out of here, Joey. There'll be cops in a minute. Pig Eye's got cuffs, that's why. Imagine slicing a joint right in the street. In daylight. Are you coming, or do I have to scram alone? I was just thinking. Something I was reading yesterday. Tell me not in mournful numbers. Life is just an empty... something.
It ain't. Numbers will be mournful if you don't scram with me. And now, here? Now, let's go, Joey. Let's go. That power car ain't empty. The law's riding in it.
Yeah, okay. How's that lousy thing go again? Life is real and earnest, and something ain't it so.
In the interest of good citizenship and law enforcement, we present Crime Does Not Pay, based on the famous Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer series of short subjects. In just a moment, you will hear Between the Dark and the Daylight, starring Lionel Sander. Now, Crime Does Not Pay, starring Lionel Sander as Joey the Poet Barrows in Between the Dark and the Daylight. The accepted word for slum is darkness. Down there at the bottom of our great cities, along the ragged edges of our farmlands, the light of hope is almost unknown. But sometimes strange gleams do pierce that darkness. Joey Barrows was touched by such a stray gleam of light. That's why they called him the Poet, Joey the Poet. Joey and his co-workers, Pig Eye Watts and Bags King, who was Joey's special pal, hung out, as the expression is, in the back room of a certain pool parlor just outside the office inhabited by Numbers Lane. There the boys followed their inclinations. For instance, Pig Eye and Bags liked games of chance.
Not with them. In the pig's eye, you do. Yeah, see? Okay, so I got 5, so I take you anyway. Ah, nuts to this. Two-handed ain't worth the trouble of dealing. Hey, Joey, want to take a hand? Hey, Joey. Hey, Poet. Your pal is talking to you.
Huh? Oh, yeah. What's on your mind, Bags?
You want to get dealt in, I'm asking you.
Nah, who cares about cards when you got stuff like this? Give a listen and learn something. This has got real class.
This is the forest primeval. The murmuring pines and the hemlocks, bearded with moss and in garments green, indistinct.
Who's that, Uncle on the corner? He's got a beard and his clothes are so old they're all green.
Shut up and listen like I told you.
Yeah, sure, Gene, sure. Make with the poetry. You don't mind if I deal myself a hand of Canfield meantime, do you? Go on, Joey. Sounds kind of pretty. Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, dum-dum. Yeah, dum-dum. How true, how true. Also screwy. Go ahead, Joey.
In the twilight, stands like a druid of elves, with voices sad and prophetic.
Joey, you should excuse the interruption, but what's that there, druid of elves?
Oh, it's it's like a tree kind of, I guess. How should I know? But it sounds awful pretty.
Yeah, pretty lousy. Now, what's the name of that there poetry?
Evangeline, it says here. Or A Tale of a Caddy.
Didn't the fellow what wrote it make up his mind?
I don't know. I didn't get that far yet.
Evangeline. Yeah, sounds like I heard it someplace. Oh, yeah. There's a joint over on 2nd Street. Belongs to the Salvation Army. What was you doing with the Salvation Army? Just passing by, big guy. I never went in a joint, not me. Oh, that's okay. Hey, guy, come in here. Check for it. Look out for them words, Joey. Someday they're going to jump right up and bite you.
Nuts, they're him. Hey, what do you suppose made numbers so sore?
Pig Eye, come in here. Who knows?
I'd like to get to do a job like Pig Eye gets sometime. All we do is sit, and then go out, pick up the dough, and come back and sit. Boy, could I operate with a chopper.
Forget it, Joey. Could be interesting, though. I was listening to Pig Eye. Slip a character a nice pick right. You don't make a sound. Dead.
Yeah. A pick artist's got to be good. Real good.
Anyhow, you get lots of time this way. Time for poetry, huh, Joey?
Yeah. Hey, want to hear some more?
No more trees, though, huh?
Oh, I got another one. The book's full of them. Here. This may be kind of cute. Between the dark and the daylight, when the night is beginning to lower, comes a pause in a day's occupation that is known as the children's hour.
Hey, that don't rhyme, hey. Lower don't rhyme with hour.
Yeah, does sound funny. Oh, well, guys entitled to slip once in a while. I hear in the chamber above me the patter of little feet.
How'd you make out, Big Eye? Got a job to do.
Hey, can we come?
In the pig's eye, you can.
How do you like that? Come on, Beggs.
Come on, where, Joey?
We're tailing Pig Eye.
Hey, numbers ain't gonna like this.
What'll numbers know? It's almost time to go pick up the tank anyhow. We can tail Pig Eye and then go make the routes.
Well, okay, if you say so, Joey.
What are you laughing at?
I was just thinking. You and your forest with beards. Only lumber around here is them there pool cues.
That Pig Eye, he's a cinch to tail. Don't even look behind him. Like he owns the street.
He does, too. Nobody around here tangles with Pig Eye.
This is kind of on a border, ain't it?
What border? With Canada?
Nah, you dope. With Slips Lewis territory.
Oh, yeah. Just about. Hey, Joe, you see what I see?
Oh, so that's where Pig Eye was heading. Who's that he's talking to?
Hey, you see that?
Looked like the sun on Pig's shiv. Nah, he wouldn't. Not in broad daylight.
What he did? The guy's lying there. Hey, let's scram out of here, Joey. There'll be cops in a minute.
Pig Eye's got guts, that's what. Imagine slicing a church right in the street. In daylight.
Are you coming, or do I have to scram along?
I was just thinking. Something I was reading yesterday. Tell me not mournful numbers. Life is just an empty something.
It ain't numbers will be mournful if you don't scram with me, and now, here? Now! Let's go, Joey, let's go! That power car ain't empty, the law's riding in it.
Yeah, okay. How does that lousy thing go again? Life is real and earnest, and something ain't so... Hi, Benny.
Hi.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Anybody riding 568?
Not today. Kid from high school had it yesterday.
Yesterday ain't today. How much? Today?
What else?
$22.46.
That's all?
That's all.
The numbers ain't gonna like this. You used to pay off $100 a day at least.
That was before Slips Lewis started moving in.
Way over here?
Way over here.
So that's it. Muscling in, is he? I'll see about that.
You'll see about what?
Poet? Yeah, what do you mean with that poet? Just you leave it to pal Joey here. I'm gonna twist Slips' nose till he hollers.
You and who else? You bringing in hoods from out of town?
I don't waste good money when we got an organization, see? I'll take care of Slips myself personally when I'm ready. And you keep operating on that line, see?
Yeah, sure. And finishing a barrel of cement.
Don't you worry. I always take care of my boys.
What with? A tombstone with poetry on it?
You sell the numbers, see? We'll take care of the rest. That's that. See you tomorrow. We'll let you know where and when. Numbers, here's the pickup. Everything up to scratch except Benny's territory.
Yeah, what's wrong over there?
He's down to half his usual take. Says Slips is muscling in. I told him not to worry. We take care of it.
We already did, didn't we, Pig Eye?
Yeah, Slips got his warning an hour ago.
Pig took care of one of his boys right on the corner. Broad daylight.
Oh, yeah.
What do you know about it?
Well, it's in the papers already. It's in the papers and everything.
What do you know, huh? Good work, Pig. You did real good. Now every runner in town will know who's boss. What the... Oh, you guys.
Yeah, me. There it is, boss. Not a winner in the territory. But the take ain't so good.
Yeah, it'll be better tomorrow. And I'll see you, boys.
But, boss, and you going to do nothing?
I've already done it. And 2 territories don't worry me none. Not the penny ante kind you collect from. I'll see you tomorrow, boys.
You don't worry about nothing.
Don't you get me gray hairs now. I know Joey won't. He could always read poetry.
So what? So just because you never got past the 6th grade, I gotta be a dope and not improve myself.
Improve yourself? Get him, Peg. Yeah, I know. But poetry is educational. What, that kind? Now you take Limerick. There was an old lady from Wheeling.
Nuts to that. I got something here. Here. Under a spreading chestnut tree, the village smitey stands. To smite the mighty man is he, with large and sinewy hands.
You think it slips, Lewis?
You ain't got no respect. That's your trouble. No respect for nothing.
Not for you, poet.
Is that so?
Yeah, so want to do something about it?
I'll do plenty.
What do you do, read more lousy poetry?
I'll take Slips, Lewis, that's what. I'll show you who's big around here.
Joey, cut it out, Joey. You take Slips? Well, you don't even pack a piece.
Well, I thought it's for us collectors. You know that we ain't allowed to. Wait a minute, I'll show you.
Keep out of numbers, Seth.
Got it.
Hey, Joey, what are you going to do with that rock?
I'm going to do like I said. I'm going to go out and take Slips Lewis personal. Lewis, here I come.
In just a moment, Crime Does Not Pay will continue with Between the Dark and the Daylight. Now we continue with Crime Does Not Pay, starring Lionel Stander as Joey the Poet Barrows in Between the Dark and the Daylight. Joey proceeded to be as good as his word. With the gun he had taken from Number's desk in his pocket, he made his way straight to the headquarters of Slips Lewis. There in the anteroom, he found Slips' henchman, Jack the Newsy.
Hey, where'd you learn manners? Don't you knock on doors? You'll embarrass yourself doing this someday.
Save it, Crumb. Where's your boss?
And whom shall I say is... Wait a minute. Me a crumb?
Never mind the routine, fat boy. Where's Slips? Behind that door?
What's it to you?
Never mind, wise guy. I'll find out for myself. And keep your hands on the desk. Unhealed. You Slips, Lewis?
Who wants to know?
I do. Are you, ain't you?
Yeah. I am.
Okay. Let's roll.
That's a hot one. You trying to snatch me? You think the newsie's going to let you?
I already took care of him.
I didn't hear no shooting.
He'll keep. Let's go, big shot.
If I refuse?
Feet first to a slab in the morgue. Now move.
Boy, you get something all right. You want to work for me?
I wait for Numbers Lane. I said move.
Now it begins to make sense. Okay, I'll play. Open the door.
You open it. You go first. And tell your fat newsboy friend if he lifts a finger, you get it right in the kidneys. Go on, open the door. Tell him.
Son, you sure got talent.
Have I? Thanks. None of that. Keep your hands outside your suit. Open the door. Start talking.
Right. Stay where you are, Newsy.
Yeah, but, boss, this pigeon's all alone.
You move, he says, and I get in the kidneys. I like my kidneys. Stay where you are.
Yeah, boss.
My friend and I here are going visiting. The Numbers Lanes joint. If I'm not back in half an hour, come looking for me.
Yeah, gotcha, boss.
Keep going. No stopping at the desk.
And 5 to 2 are the odds, Newsy, that this bright lad will be working for us by the time I get back.
Straight ahead. Look, the door on the back.
Nice layout you got here.
Oh, Numbers and me, we got it all figured neat.
Including...
Oh!
Enjoyed your trip, jerk. Now give me the gun.
Don't shoot me. Don't shoot.
I never do my own killing. You said this door. Hey, you in there, Numbers? This is Slips talking, and I got a gun I took away from your goon here.
Yeah, what goon?
Your boy you sent after me. Now get this, Numbers. I'm taking over in this town, see? The policy game is mine. So leave my boys alone and you'll live longer. That's all.
You won't get away with it, Slip.
Don't try coming out, Numbers. Not you or anybody. I'm leaving here with my back to the street, and I'll open up the first head I see. Not try anything stupid, or you'll get it where it hurts most. And here's your rod. I don't need it.
Get that dirty chiseler. It's the last thing I ever do.
Come in here, Port.
Why would you, Port? Just let me get the gun. Well, I brought him here, didn't I?
Oh, you stupid jackass. Put down that gun.
Okay, Port.
Yeah, you brought him here. Half an hour from now, our crowd will be the laughing stock of this town. Split Lewis is here and walked out without a scratch.
Gee, I never thought about it like that, Numbers.
Of course you never thought. What do you got to think with? Poetry? Sit down. Down up there in the corner. Yes. Thanks. Take the gun.
Yes, boss.
Now stand over him. He lifts a hand or opens his mouth, give it to him. Right in the belly. You got that?
Yes, boss. Sorry, Joe.
Okay, baby.
That's right. Shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
Now then, Pig Eye. What are we going to do with this character?
It's up to you, Numbers. Whatever you say.
Should I let him live?
After what he'd done, practically double-crossing us in a pig's eye.
Right. How? The rope, boss? Hey, shut up, I said! No, not the rope. That takes an artist, and what slips on the loose, I need you with me, Pig.
Ice pick, dump him in the river, anything you say, Numbers.
I tell you what, over to the lake. You know, there's a spot, the big rock. One good shot and he falls in. The current will take him right under that rock. That's what Jersey Jackson got. And he never came up.
It sounds good. Who does it?
Who else?
Yeah. Who else? No, not me. I never killed nobody. Joe is my pal.
You know the rules, Bags. When the trigger man goes, his best pal always does the job. Okay. Joey Boy tried to be a trigger man, and you're his pal. Take care of it. With the gun you're holding. And do it tonight.
Much further, Bags?
See, my feet are hurting me something fierce. Mine, too. I'll have to walk back.
Sit down a minute, Beggs, will you?
What for?
We're still pals, Beggs. Let's talk. For the last time.
Well, okay, I guess. The grass is kind of soft, ain't it?
Grass always is, I suppose. It's a funny thing about grass. I guess maybe that's why them poets, the real ones, they always write about it. Now, one fellow wrote a whole book. I seen it once in the window of a bookstore. Leaves of Grass, he called it. Funny. Said on the cover the fellow was born in Brooklyn. Do you think they got any grass in Brooklyn?
Who knows? Maybe. They got everything else.
Well, never find out now.
Why'd you try it, Joey? Why?
I don't know. Maybe I was tired of being stepped on. A fella's got to break out sometime.
Now I gotta... Well, I gotta. Why'd you do this to me, Joey? We always been pals.
Do you really got it, Beggs?
Of course I got it.
Maybe. Maybe not. Numbers said the bodies don't ever come up. They disappear. Get it? They disappear.
Hey, look, if I go back and the gun ain't been fired...
You could fire it. Out over the lake. I could take it on the land, maybe. And disappear.
If they ever find out, I'm done, Joey.
I'm your pal, Beggs. Your pal.
Yeah, sure, but...
Look, if they ever find out, I'm done, too. Get it?
You make it sound okay.
Look, Beggs, by now we would have been to the Rock. If we're going to do it my way, we got to move fast.
It's an awful chance, Joey. You sure you'll get out of sight?
And how? It's a deal, pal.
It's a deal.
Good. Now fire the gun.
Fire it?
Not at me, dope. Over the lake. Okay. Now beat it back to Numbers and tell them I disappeared. And you won't be lying, Beggs. You sure won't be lying.
Okay, fella, what's in your mind?
I want to talk to somebody. The desk sergeant said that in here I could talk to somebody.
Okay, you're in. Start talking.
I got to know who I'm talking to.
You're choosy, aren't you? I'm Dominic, Sergeant, Bracket Squad. While we're being formal, who are you?
I'm Joseph P. Barrows.
Never heard of you.
Well, the bunch call me the poet. See, I got a book.
Look, poet, I never heard of you. What are you trying to tell me?
I used to work for Numbers Lane.
You what?
Yeah. I was a collector, me and Bags King. We were the collectors.
You know what you're doing coming in here? You're dead, boy, and you haven't got sense enough to lie down.
I know. I smashed Slips Lewis, only got away. So Numbers told Bags to whack me out, but I talked Bags out of knocking me off. Look, Sergeant, before I say anything, you got to promise me that Bags gets a break. He's my pal. He never did no more than I done. And he's a witness, too.
Witness? To what?
Me and Bags, we followed Pig Eye one day.
Pig Eye what? Numbers, Trigger Man?
Yeah, that's him. We watched him. Take care of one of the Slips boys over in the corner of Jackson and West, right in front of the candy store.
Yeah, I remember that, not long ago. Well, keep talking.
No. You didn't promise me about Bags yet.
Okay, I promise. If he turns state's evidence like you're doing, he'll get off easy. Now go on. Keep talking.
We seen that killing. And we know that Numbers ordered it. We know lots of things, just from hanging around.
Hold it. This is the whole operation, it looks like. I gotta call the DA on this first.
The DA?
You got nothing to worry about. Boy, are we going to protect you. You said the pool hall at Morton and Chalmers, Barrows?
Yeah, but I still don't see what you made me come along for.
I told you, when we raid a joint, we have to take everybody, and they give phony names to point out the ones we want. Save an awful lot of time. Drive it slow down. We'll walk from the corner. All right, let's walk, Barrows. Get out, man. I know mobs. Quiet. You sure they'll be in there now?
Oh, sure. This time of day, they're counting the tape.
The tape. Pennies from kids, dollars that ought to pay the rent. All right, Barrows. No monkey business now.
I told you, Sergeant. And you heard me tell the district attorney, too. I want to get numbers, that's all.
Right. Here we go.
That's the door, straight and back.
Open it, Barrows.
Yes, sir. Hi, Bags. Hey, guy. Numbers inside?
Joey, you said you wouldn't come back.
Why, you double-crossing skunk.
Drop that gun, what?
And a pig's eye, I will. Numbers faded, tops and stars.
You want me, you come and get me. Hit the floor, Bag. Hit it. Under the table, quick. Come on, Lane. Your boy is dead. You're through. So's Lewis. We're taking him today, too.
Bags, okay, Bags. I think so. They promised to protect you, too, Bags.
Last call, Lane. You come out or we're coming in. All right, boys. In we go. Fire!
It's safe, Bags. You can come out now.
Hey, Joey, where they keeping you?
Hotel. You move in with me. And hey, guess what? You know that leaves the grass I told you about? Well, the DA give me it for a present. I ain't got very far in it yet, but that Brooklyn fellow who wrote it sure knew an awful lot of words. But we'll have time to study him, Bags. Lots of time. Well, we're going for a while.
Crime does not pay. Lionel Stander, who was starred as Joey the Poet Barrows in Between the Dark and the Daylight, will be back with you in just a moment. Now here in person is Lionel Stander.
In his way, Joey the Poet is a tragic character, as any comic character is, as soon as he becomes involved in circumstances he cannot understand or control. But there's more to this story in my mind than just Joey and his quirk for poetry, Longfellow's poetry. If Joey and the thousands of real people like him had the chance for training, for learning, for understanding, the benefit to all of us would be almost boundless. But they don't have that chance. And so we lose them to bitterness, to a kind of slavery, in so many cases to the underworld. Once we root out the causes of this waste, once we see to it that our communities provide the proper opportunities for all, we will have gone far toward the day when it will no longer be necessary to point out that for ourselves, as well as for Joey the Poet, crime does not pay.
Thank you, Mr. Stander. Crime Does Not Pay is written by Ira Marion and directed by Mark C. Loeb, with music composed and conducted by John Gard. Technical advisor is Burton B. Turtis. The events, characters, and names used in the story you've just heard are fictitious. Any similarity is purely coincidental.
This I believe. Viscount Hailsham succeeded his father in the British peerage 2 years ago. He now sits in the House of Lords. The accident of inheritance automatically removed him from a most promising career in the House of Commons. He was then known as Quinton Hogg. Now a rebel within the ranks of the Tory party, he is the founder of the Tory Reform Committee. Here now is Lord Hailsham.
No one knows how he came to be born, nor what will happen when he dies. The wisest must live by faith or the want of it. So I feel there's no shame in admitting that we live by faith. The only question is, what faith? Are we to believe that the things we see and feel are the only things that are? And that man himself, his fears, his loves, his hates, his sense of sin and longing for beauty, differs only in degree and not in kind from the animals. Begotten and born, dying and finally dissolved, all his consciousness, no less material than the bloom on a peach or the whistle of a distant railway train. This is materialism, and I don't think that anyone can really be satisfied with it. It can't satisfy the heart, and it can't satisfy the head in the end. We know enough of ourselves to feel certain that there is a sphere of reality to which we are native born, of a different order to the inanimate world about us. Its nature is obscure, even its existence eludes us. But the knower is no mere thing to be known. However conditioned the mind or limited the choice, there is, I believe, a point at which every human being knows himself to be a first cause, operating on his surroundings within bounds however narrow, inhabiting a region where mind and spirit are the ultimate, and body and matter are only the secondary reality. In this region, the real things are the eternal values, things like beauty, ugliness, truth and falsehood, right and wrong, mercy and cruelty, and above all, those sentient beings who are at once the subjects, the vehicles, and the objects of these things. How can I possibly visualize a universe so constructed as purely fortuitous? How can such a universe be brought to a full stop by the explosion of an atomic bomb? A universe like this must have a center, and that center a person, not merely a thing. As I see it, the center of this universe is God. Is this something that I know, or something only that I believe? Of course, something I believe, but something I believe by reason and experience. In our pilgrimage, there comes a time when we realize we aren't alone. To each, his own experience is complete and incommunicable. We put out our hands and feel a hand in ours. We see a light in the darkness, not waywardly, like the will-o'-the-wisp, but in an ordered sequence, and we know that a friend is near. But what a friend! His presence is as terrible as the lightning, his absence more fearful still. If man were perfectly happy or perfectly good, he wouldn't have any need of a redeemer. But there are no more certain facts in the world than suffering and sin. Man has the capacity to generate his own misfortunes, as certain as a child, to muddy his face and break his toys. We can't understand why this should be so, at least I can't. But it is, and the knowledge of it, which is nothing less than the knowledge of our own nature, is unbearable. Only a God who has suffered as a man can help us to bear the knowledge and overrule the fact. Only a man who has truly borne God's image on his personality can give us courage to worship where our instinct is to flee. He must be a real man, and he must be real God. No fairy prince, no imaginary redeemer can work the miracle. Only a figure of history will serve. A real stone rolled away from a real tomb in a real garden at a real moment of time, and we were free.
That was Viscount Hailsham, a lawyer, statesman, and the author of The Case for Conservatism. A man of quick temper but deliberate courage, he has brought some virile young ideas to Britain's Tory party.
Calling all detectives. There's an old joke about a restaurant owner going out to eat. But I once saw that happen because the owner was afraid to eat his own food. That is the situation on this page from my casebook. The casebook of Jerry Browning, private detective. It doesn't take a private detective like me, Jerry Browning, to know that the guy who dishes it out can't always take it. It was after midnight, and I was hungry. So instead of heading home, I decided to stop off at Louie's Hamburger Heaven. Louie was an ex-burglar who'd swapped his Jimmy for a skillet and was doing fine the last time I'd seen him. But tonight, there wasn't a customer in the place. A short-order cook I'd never seen before was dozing over a crossword puzzle, and as for Louie...
Hello, Jerry. How are you?
I'm fine, Louie. But what's with you?
I'm okay, I guess. Sit down.
Louie's smile was fixed and a little punchy.
Got a lot of improvements since you've been here, Jerry. Hey, Gus, meet an old pal, Jerry Browning.
Gus put down his crossword puzzle, waddled over, gave me a flabby hand to shake.
Pleased to meet you.
He turned to Louie.
Guess I'll go on back and clean up, Louie. Yeah, Gus, go ahead.
When Gus was out of hearing, Louie whispered,
Gus has a record, Jerry, just like me. That's why I hired him. You gave me a break once, so now I'm passing it along. Gus is going straight. He'll never steal no more.
I grinned. That's fine.
But right now I'm hungry. Every time I come in here, you offer me a fish burger or chocolate burger or something. Why not tonight? Louis gulped.
Oh, Jerry, you make me feel like a heel. Tell you what, I'll take you out and buy you a sandwich. Strictly between the two of us, the food in this joint is buzzing. And I mean buzzing.
When I stopped off at Louis's Hamburger Heaven, he told me his food was poison, and he meant it. We went to Louis's competition, Clancy's Chili Parlor.
Louis, about time you wised up that your food ain't fit for human consumption. What'll you have, gents?
Louis winced, but swallowed the insult.
Chili, a steak burger with trimmings, apple pie a la mode, and coffee for my pal. For me, a glass of water.
While I ate, Louis told me his tale of woe.
Business was fine, terrific. So good I had to hire a nightman. Gus, the one you met, Jerry. I put in a new stove, a great big deluxe refrigerator. It took 4 guys to lug the thing in this morning. It's so big. And tonight a guy orders a Louis burger, a peanuts and tuna fish, and he gets sick. He says it's the food. Who am I to argue with the guy, so I says it's on the house. Okay, comes the next guy, bacon burger. He gets sick too. So I try some food. I get sick. Gus tries it. He gets sick. No matter what we try, the stuff makes us sick. So when more customers come in, I tell them we're out of everything.
Everything in your place has gone bad? Well, that's impossible, Louis.
Yeah, but it happened. And when the word gets around, I'll be out of business.
No, you won't. There's ways of tracking down trouble like that. Come on, I'll show you how. Back at Louis's place, we found Gus the nightman down on all fours trying to get a mop stick behind the big gleaming refrigerator.
Leave that be, Gus. Thing's too heavy to move. Come on out front. We got work to do.
Late as it was, I persuaded an inspector from the Department of Health to come down to the place. Jerry, there's nothing wrong with the food when it comes in here. The bulk meat, staples, and unopened packages all check perfect. And what's been making people sick? Well, that's easy. Somebody has dumped washing soda into all open supplies. The moment the inspector left, Louis, Gus, and I went to work. Threw out all food that wasn't in unopened containers. Dumped salt, pepper, sugar, mustard, ketchup, even ice cubes. Well, Louis, that does it.
Oh, I'm going home for some sleep.
Tomorrow we'll try to figure out who did this to you and why. Good night. When I got to my office the next morning, I found an urgent message from Louis. Hamburger Heaven was on fire. The excitement was over by the time I got to Louis's place.
Charlie, my dayman, discovered a fire, Jerry. Started in all them boxes and junk we thrown out last night.
Charlie nodded confirmation.
A good thing I found it before it got going good or the joint would have burned down. Looked to me like somebody flipped a cigarette in there.
Louis scowled.
That Clancy who runs a chili parlor. He smokes lots of cigarettes, Jerry, lots of cigarettes.
Take it easy, Louis. Don't go making any hasty accusations. You've got no proof against Clancy. I patted his shoulder, promised to come back that evening after I'd finished up on another case. But when I arrived at Hamburger Heaven late that afternoon, the place was deserted again, and Louis looked gloomier than ever.
It ain't no use, Jerry. There's a hex on me.
What's the matter now?
Gus, come here, Gus. Let Jerry take a look at you.
Gus waddled over to us. His face was a mass of red spots.
Measles the guy has got. Now I'll be quarantined for a couple of weeks, and I sure can't blame that on Clancy.
Oh, I guess not. Well, better get Gus to a doctor and let's learn the worst.
Don't worry about me. I got me own doctor.
Gus shouldn't have said that. It broke poor Louis's already battered heart.
Gus, you stuck with me through all this trouble. What kind of a guy you think I am, not taking care of you when you get sick? Sure, I'll take you to a doctor the best in time.
I said I'll go to my own doctor. Now leave me alone.
Louis looked surprised and hurt.
Okay. If that's how you feel about it.
I put my hand against the cook's chest. It may be okay with Louis, but it's not okay with me, Gus. You're going to a doctor, and with us. Gus tried to knock my hand away, then swung on me. I countered, slapped his face lightly. My hand came away, smeared with red. After that, I really went to work. Sure, he faked the measles. With red ink. Gus tried that after his 2 other attempts to close up the place failed. He had to close up Louie's place, all because of that big new refrigerator. Gus wasn't around when it was installed. And when he got there that evening, he found the huge machine standing directly in front of the wall baseboard where he'd concealed some stolen jewelry. Yeah, Gus was one crook who hadn't reformed. He was using Louie's place as a front and as a cache for his loot. He couldn't move the big refrigerator to get at his stuff while Louie or the dayman were around, so he tried to close up the place. There was a nice reward for recovering the jewels. Louie got that and spent it on electric dishwashers. As for Gus, he got 10 years. Like I said, when you cook up trouble for somebody else, be careful, or you may wind up in the soup.
Listen next time to Calling All Detectives. Mystery drama, mystery quiz, and a chance for you to match wits with yours truly, Jerry Browning, Private Detective.
Murder at midnight.
Which way did he go?
That way. Down through the garden.
The stone. It's so dark you can't see. Dr. Rudd. There, at the bottom of the terrace.
Professor LeBord. LeBord, why Oh, good Lord.
What is it?
He must have fallen down the steps, broken his neck. He's dead.
Midnight, the witching hour when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a minute in The Kabalah. And now, Murder at Midnight. Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre. Our story by Robert Newman is The Kabalah. A rambling house on the outskirts of a small university town. And in the house, a room that seems more like the cell of a medieval alchemist than the study of a college professor. Its walls lined with ancient volumes and astrolabes and other curious instruments. Bent over his desk, Dr. Rudd does not hear the knock on the door at first. But when it's repeated, he says, "Come in."
Alan's going, Father. He wanted to say good night to you.
Oh, yes, Alan. Good night.
I was terribly sorry to hear about the decision of the Board of Trustees, sir. I mean, they're refusing to give you a grant to go on with your research.
Oh, that. Well, it doesn't matter. I've about decided to give up the whole project anyway.
Your book?
Yes.
Father, you're not serious. I thought you were almost finished with it.
I am. All but the last chapter. I just can't seem to write that without additional research. And without the last chapter, why, the rest of the book is meaningless.
Well, isn't there anyone you could talk to about it, sir? Anyone who could help you?
I doubt it, Alan. I think I know as much about the occult as anyone in the world, except perhaps one man.
Who's that, Father?
The man I studied under at the University of Paris. And I haven't heard from him in over 10 years. I'm not even sure that he's still alive. Too bad this is the 20th century, not the 12th.
How so, Dr. Rudd?
Oh, it would have been very simple then. A pentacle, a pair of quartz candles, and I could summon up someone who would make things very easy for me. Yes, right now I really believe I won't sell my soul for the help I need.
Father, you mustn't say things like that, even as a joke.
Well, you're right, Bob. And no one knows it better than I. Well, good night, Alan. See you in the morning.
Right, Dr. Rudd. Good night.
I'll walk you down to the road, Alan.
Oh, fine, dear. Pretty depressed, isn't he?
Father? Yes. Not that I blame him. 4 years' work. The definitive book on occultism, the supernatural. Alan!
Yes, I see it, too. Someone or something lying in the road. Come on.
An old man, and he's dressed so strangely.
He looks like an Arab. Wonder what he's doing around here. Anyway, he seems in a bad way. Here, I'll carry him into the house. You run ahead and tell your father.
All right.
In here, Alan, in my study.
All right.
We'll put him on the couch. What's wrong with him?
Well, it's hard to say, but I think it's just exhaustion.
Oh, his pulse is very weak. Barbara, call Dr. Stevens.
Of course, Father. He's opening his eyes.
Where? What is this place? No, it's all right. You're among friends. We're sending for a doctor.
A doctor? You're kind, but it's too late. Allah stretches his hand out for me.
Nonsense. All you need is some food, rest.
No, I'm dying. But if you are indeed friends, one last request. Will you grant it?
If we possibly can.
I am a Hajj, a Sufi. I come of a long, ancient line. Will you see that I get proper burial?
Oh, yes, of course.
I have no gold, no money, but...
He's fainting. Loosen this rope, Alan.
Right. Say, he's got something hidden here. A parchment scroll.
The Kabalah. You've taken the Kabalah.
It's all right.
No, you must not. It's accursed. Into the fire. Destroy it. If you use it...
Father.
Yes. Yes, he's dead. May his soul rest in peace.
You're very quiet tonight, Dr. Rudd. Thinking about the funeral?
Huh?
Our Arab friend?
Yes, Alan. Partly. And partly about this parchment he had hidden in his room. It seems to be a form of the Kabalah.
That's right. That's what he called it when he got so excited. Wanted you to destroy it. But the Kabalah is just the science of letters and numbers, isn't it?
It's much more than that, Barbara. It's the science of the mystical attributes of letters and numbers, the basis for almost all occultism. But this system is different from any I ever saw before.
Different? How?
Well, this particular system tells how a question can be written out, the letters changed into numbers and manipulated. When the numbers are changed back into letters, they will answer the question.
Listen, Professor, what do you say we try it?
Try it?
Sure. Of course, it's a lot of nonsense, but, well, why not?
Oh, well, all right. There's paper and pencils on my desk.
What are you going to ask, Father?
Oh, something simple, something we can check.
Me, I'm going to ask something really practical. Okay, Professor, let's go.
How are you coming, Father?
Almost finished. Now, let's see. Zadek, Mem, Vav. Great Scott.
What is it?
Look at this. Here's my question. will we have any visitors today?
Uh-huh.
And here's the answer. 2 visitors. Professor Laborde and someone else.
Professor Laborde?
Do you remember my telling you yesterday that there was one person in the world who could give me the help I needed to finish my book?
Yes.
That man was Professor Laborde.
Father, you don't really believe it, do you?
I don't know. Well, I told you I haven't seen or heard from him in 10 years. But just the same...
Dr. Rudd, look.
Hmm?
Look here, I got something, too.
What is it, Alan?
Well, here's my question. How can the professor get the money to continue with his research?
Yes.
Here's the answer. Call Mark Endicott.
What? Of course. Why don't you, Father? He's always been interested in you and your work.
Well, I just never thought of it. I'll go in and call him right away.
Well, Father, did you get him?
Yes. Yes, it's very strange.
In what way?
He said that he'd been thinking about me a good deal lately, and he's driving out here this evening to see me.
There. That's the answer to your question. 2 visitors. Professor Laborde and someone else. Well, he must be the someone else.
You think so?
Oh, of course.
Somehow I don't.
Well, what do you mean, sir?
I don't know. Except that I don't like it.
It's beginning to look as if our Kabalah is a washout after all.
What makes you say that?
Well, 11 o'clock and no sign of either Laborde or Endicott.
I can't understand it. Endicott definitely said that he was driving out here and that he was leaving immediately.
He'd probably changed his mind because of the storm. It's still pretty bad out, isn't it?
Yes, but it's not like him. You think he'd phone us and let us know? Oh, perhaps that's he now. Hello? Yes? This is Professor Rudd speaking. Who? Oh, yes. What? But that's impossible. I spoke to him only a few hours ago, and... Why, I can't believe it. You're sure? Oh, I see. But thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Who was it, Father?
That was Mark Endicott's attorney.
His attorney? What did he want?
Mark Endicott was killed at about 6 o'clock this afternoon.
Killed?
On his way here, an auto accident. His attorney called to tell me Endicott had left me a $5,000 bequest for research.
What? Father, the Kabalah. It said you were to call him for the money to continue your work. It didn't actually say he was coming out here.
No.
Wait a minute. You mean, you really think
I don't know, Alan. But I do know that if I hadn't called him, he wouldn't have started driving here in the storm. He wouldn't have had the accident and been killed. But I probably wouldn't have gotten the money.
But, Father, if it's true, if it has some sort of supernatural power, then what about Professor Laborde? It did say he was coming.
Oh, please, Bob, I told you I don't know. Endicott was my friend. Now he's dead. And somehow I feel as if...
Father, the door.
Yes. Yes, let's see who it is.
Great Scott, Professor. If it is Laborde, do you realize what this means?
Yes, Alan.
If it is, well, the thing is priceless. Absolutely priceless. Why,
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry to trouble you. Oh, come in, Professor Laborde. Come in. We've been expecting you for some time now.
An ancient manuscript which can foretell the future. A dead man and a visitor from the dead. As the clock strikes 12 for murder at midnight. to Murder at Midnight and the Kabalah. It's just a moment or two later, and Professor Laborde is being shown into Dr. Rudd's study.
In here, Professor Laborde. Barbara, will you take the professor's things?
Of course, Father.
Thank you, my dear. You're very kind. But there's something I do not understand, Dr. Rudd. When you opened the door, you said you had been expecting me.
Since early this afternoon.
But that is impossible. Completely impossible. I'm here entirely by accident. I had no idea you lived here or anywhere near here. I lost my way in the storm, knocked at your particular door by chance to ask for directions.
Nevertheless, we've been expecting you.
Excuse me, how could you have been?
Alan.
Yes, sir?
Show Professor Laborde the Kabalah, will you please?
Right, Professor. Here you are, sir.
Kabalah?
Look at it, Professor. Tell me what you think of it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Of course, I cannot be sure without examining it thoroughly. But it appears to be even older than the Black Grimoire. And its form resembles that of the Key of Solomon.
Professor Laborde, it's my belief that it is the Key of Solomon.
What? But it can't be. It's been written about for centuries, of course, mentioned in hundreds of works, from Trismegistus down. But there's never been any proof that it ever actually existed. And still, where did you get it?
From an old Arab who came here last night and died here.
The main thing is we tested it.
Tested it?
Yes, we asked 2 questions. The answer to one of them prophesied your coming here, and the other, well, that came true, too.
But this is beyond words. If it's true, then it's the most priceless discovery that has ever... Professor Rudd, may I try it? Use it to ask a question to?
Well, I don't know, Professor Laborde.
Please. For years now, ever since I began studying the supernatural, there's been something. One thing I've always said I'd give my very life to know. If it can tell me that, you must let me, Rudd. And you must let me do it while I'm alone.
Well, all right.
Good.
Come on, Alan, Barbara. We'll wait outside.
What time is it now, Professor?
It's 20 hours.
He's been at it for quite a while.
Yes. If he doesn't call us in another minute or two, we'll go in.
I'm probably being very silly, but I don't like this, any of it.
Why not, Barbara?
I don't know, but... What's that?
Professor Laborde, come on. Professor Laborde, what is it? What's happened? What are you doing?
He's burning something in the fire.
Father, it's his hands. He's holding them in the fire, burning.
Great Scott, Professor Laborde, stop. Stop. Have you gone mad?
Fire! Only fire can burn my hands clean again. I asked. Now I must pay.
Laborde.
Let me go. Let go. I'm coming. I'll pay.
Professor Laborde, come back. Quick, Alan.
Okay. Which way did he go?
That way. Down through the garden.
The stone. It's so dark I can't see. Dr. Rudd. There, at the bottom of the terrace.
Professor Laborde. Laborde, why... Oh, good Lord.
What is it?
He must have fallen down the steps, broken his leg. He's dead. All right now, Alan. Put him down. Oh, gently.
Yes, sir.
Father, are you sure that...
Yes, Barbara, I'm sure. He's dead.
What made him do it? Go running out there that way?
It must have been something to do with the Kabalah. He was going to ask it a question.
Yes, Alan, it has something to do with the Kabalah.
And standing there with his hands in the fire, as if he were trying to burn them clean. Father, what was the question he asked? What answer did he get?
I think perhaps I can guess.
The old Arab, he warned us, remember? He said it was accursed, evil, that if we used it... Wait a minute, Dr. Rudd. The board said he'd give his life to know the answer to that question, and now he's dead.
Yes, Alan, that's what was in my mind, too. That and one more thing. Do you remember what I said just before you found the old Arab in the garden? That I'd make a pact with the devil, sell my very soul for the help I needed to finish my book?
No, Father, you're not serious. You don't mean you really believe
I've lived too long, my dear, seen too many strange things to disbelieve anything. If the Kabalah is everything we think it is, if it is the key to the future, to all knowledge, if it can answer any question we put to it, then there are only two sources from which it can draw its power. One good and one evil.
And you think...
If God had wished us to be able to foresee the future, we should be able to foresee it. On the other hand, if it's evil, well, there's usually a penalty involved.
The board. He said something about paying, too. Who must be paid, and how?
There's only one way to find out, through the Kabalah itself. Give it to me, Alan.
No, please, no.
I'm sorry, Barbara, I must. There's no need for you to stay here, or Alan.
No, Father. We'll stay, both of us.
Very well. Then, here goes.
You're shivering, darling. Are you cold? Shall I build up the fire?
No, I'm not cold. What was that?
It sounded like the outside door opening.
Father, what is it? Are you finished?
Yes. Yes, I'm finished.
And what?
Look. Here's the question.
Who must be paid, and how?
And here's the answer.
Turn around, and you will see.
Father, the door behind us, it just opened.
Yes.
I don't dare turn around.
You needn't. Right in front of you, there on the wall. Look.
Something black, like a stain, a blot. But it's spreading, moving.
Like an octopus, or like...
It's shadow. It's coming toward us.
What in heaven's name is it?
Whatever it is, whatever happens to us, no one shall ever again be cursed as we've been cursed. The Kabalah, give it to me.
Father, what are you doing?
What I should have done when I first saw it. Destroy it. Throw it into the fire.
It's coming closer. Closer. Professor, isn't there anything we can do? Anything that...
Father, look. The parchment burning. There on the wall.
The shadow of the andirons. In the shape of the crux ansata. The first cross.
Good Lord. The shadow, it's wavering. Drawing back. Retreating. I'm going to turn around. See what...
No, wait. Wait until... All right. Now.
There's nothing there.
The board? The board? Dr. LeBoy.
Someone just came in. Who's there? Who is that?
Oh, excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I'm looking for someone. An old man with white hair and white beard. His name's... Holy smoke, there he is, Dr. LeBoy. Dr. LeBoy.
I can't answer you. He's dead.
Dead?
Who are you, anyway?
Well, an attendant at a private hospital in town. We've been taking care of him ever since he got to this country. Nervous breakdown. He disappeared this afternoon, and he'd been talking about you so much lately that I had a hunch he might have come out here.
Talking about me? But he said he had no idea I lived here.
Of course he knew. I told you he wasn't right in the head. That was one of the signs.
Father, if it's true, if his mind was going, that would explain what he did. Burning his hands, running away like that.
You mean the Kabalah didn't have any occult power? What about the money from Endicott?
Oh, just a coincidence.
And what just happened? That shadow we saw on the wall?
Well, it was only a shadow. It could have been just our imagination.
Yes, Barbara, it could have been. But somehow, I don't think it was.
An old professor stands next to the body of his friend, staring at the fireplace where the secret of the ages has gone up in smoke as the clock strikes 12 for murder at midnight. Remember to be with us again when death whispers from the darkness in an unknown tongue, and the clocks strike 12 for murder at midnight. The part of Dr. Rudd was played by James Van Dyke. With music by Bert Berman, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
This I believe. It is generally acknowledged that in a generation of great British lawyers, Viscount Simon had one of the finest legal brains of them all. Yet he prefers to be judged upon his record for statesmanship, a sphere in which he has been exposed to much more criticism. Among the posts he has held are the Home Secretaryship, the Chairmanship of Indian Statutory Commission, and the Foreign Secretaryship. In 1940, he crowned this career by becoming Lord Chancellor, the highest legal office in Great Britain. This is Viscount Simon's creed.
I do not believe in individual immortality in the orthodox or conventional sense. Such a belief may afford consolation to the bereaved and comfort to the disappointed. But I would rather repeat the credo of Elbert Hubbard. I believe in brains that think, and hands that work, and hearts that love. That, I feel, is enough to strengthen and sustain the human spirit. The poet Maeterlinck, in his beautiful fantasy of the blue bird, tells us that the dead are roused from their long sleep and live again only while the living are thinking and speaking of them with affection. I feel that of those whom I loved and who are no longer here. And when the time comes, I wish for no other immortality for myself. I venture to repeat the concluding passage in the autobiography which I wrote, which I call Retrospect. The course of a busy human life resembles a journey in an express train. You choose the carriage and start with the keenest interest in all you see. As you proceed, you scan the features of your fellow travelers and watch the panorama from the window. Presently, the scene loses its freshness as the train gathers speed. Mileposts and wayside stations flash past you. Laborious terms of work and periods of vacation follow one another in uncounted succession. You have long since settled yourself in your corner, and there seems no reason why the journey should be ending. But presently you note that the train is slowing down. Signs that you are approaching the terminus multiply. You look up, and lo, here is the inexorable official coming along to collect your ticket. Ought this view of the matter to make one feel dejected and hopeless? I do not think so. It is not necessary to regard death as the release from the troubles and anxieties of this wicked world, but it is an end of life, and fortunately for humanity, we none of us know when it is coming. It seems no more difficult to believe that the end of life is death than that the beginning of life is birth. But life itself is an opportunity for service and kindness, the two things which make life worth living. And the right judgment on this topic may be expressed in two epitaphs, which are often in my mind. One is inscribed over the grave of John Richard Green, the English historian, in three simple words: he died learning. The other I have read on the tomb of Henry Lawrence at Lucknow. He tried to do his duty. To make the best of your powers and equipment, and to do your utmost for your day and generation. These, I think, sum up my notion of the object of life, and this is what I believe.
That was Viscount Simon, British lawyer and statesman. He is well known in England for his acute critical brain, his persuasive tongue, and astringent wit.
What's the matter? What is it?
Another case for Nick Carter, master detective.
Yes, it's another case for that most famous of all manhunters, the detective whose ability at solving crime is unequaled in the case of detective fiction. Nick Carter, master detective. Tonight's curious adventure:
The corpse in the cab, or Nick Carter and the mystery of the murder in the park.
Taxi!
Mr. Ramsey, you are very kind indeed to take such an interest in this problem.
Well, dear fellow, I consider it my civic duty. Taxi!
Here's a cab now.
Yes.
Okay, gents, make it snappy. We're blocking traffic.
All right. You get in first. My party, you know, my party.
Thank you. Where to, gents?
I guess the quickest way to get there is through the park. Yes, drive through the park. I'll tell you where to turn.
Okay. I believe it is on West 54th Street. And there's a flag out there.
Excuse me, driver.
Yeah?
Do you mind if I shut this glass partition between us?
Go right ahead, boss. You're paying the fare. Here, let me do it for you.
Well, that's better. Nice winter evening. Stars twinkling. Ought to pick us up for the grim business ahead. Lucky thing I ran into you. Lucky thing.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Ramsey. It seems fate destined me to make your acquaintance this afternoon.
Yes, lucky thing. Just my little way of keeping air out of the windpipe. There you are, my dear fellow. Mighty lucky thing I ran into you tonight.
You gotta help me, Nick. You gotta. They'll slap me and stir.
Now, take it easy, Shorty. Take it easy. And tell me again exactly what happened.
Like I said, two guys hailed my cab. One of them says to drive through the park. He'll tell me where to turn up.
And when you get out of the park?
The one guy opens the petition again and says to pull up. He's getting out. He tells me to drive the other guy to the precinct police station. And, Nick, if I hadn't looked around when I came to the intersection and seen what I seen, I'd have driven right up to the bull house with a dead body in my cab. Me, Shorty Bentano.
You don't remember what the man looked like, Shorty?
In the dark? I ain't got cat's eyes, Nick. Gee, what's that?
You are jumpy. And just Patsy buzzing me in the talkback.
Oh.
Nick, in the inimitable words of Mr. Winchell, my stomach and my backbone are now a twosome. When do we eat?
You'll have to order yourself a sandwich, Patsy. We've got work to do.
Work tonight?
Mm-hmm. And Patsy, get me to police headquarters. Lieutenant Riley.
Okay, Nick.
You're going to turn me in, Nick? I thought you'd help me.
I am going to help you, Shorty. But the sooner the police know about the murdered man outside in your cab, the better it is for you.
You're crazy, Nick. I done time. I ain't got a chance. If the cops find that stiff in my buggy, it's curtains for me. I'm getting out of here.
Shorty, sit down there.
Nick, they'll give me the hot seat for something I never done.
No, they won't, Shorty. Not while my name's Nick Carter.
Not one bit of identification on this body. No bullet trace, no knife, no nothing.
Well, what did you want the murderer to do, Riley? Leave his calling card?
I'm always getting stuck with one of these dud cases. It takes months to solve them. We don't even know who the stiff is.
Now, Riley, flash your light inside here again.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You see something?
I'm just looking.
You see, his pockets are turned inside out. The motive was robbery, all right.
No, Riley, I don't think so.
Huh?
Doesn't look prosperous enough to rob.
Nick, you're always looking for what's not there.
That might mean something, too. Now, Riley, evidently the murderer didn't care to have his victim's identity uncovered too soon.
Say, what are you looking at his hands for, Nick?
Riley, have your laboratory analyze this white powder under the nail of his right index finger.
What? Say, there is something under his fingernail.
Yes. I have an idea. You'll find it's chalk.
Chalk? Well, sure, you're a smart one, Nick. Yeah, with these lily white hands, hey, this guy was a pool player, a professional maybe, huh?
Maybe, but don't bank on it. Now, Riley, about Shorty.
I'm holding him, Nick. Never fear about that.
Now, look, Riley, he's a favor to me. Don't pull him in yet.
Oh, great jumping banshees, Nick. I've got to.
Listen, Riley, it had nothing to do with this murder. If he were a party to it, he'd have dumped the body out somewhere, wouldn't he?
Well...
Certainly he would. Shorty's been on the right side of the fence ever since he got out of the big house. And he's given me a hand on cases from time to time.
I know. You owe him a favor, and I owe you a barrel of them.
Well, that's about it.
Well, okay. I'll shut my eyes for 24 hours. No longer, though, mind you.
Thanks, Riley.
Nick, where are you going?
To find a murderer.
Boy, this is some buggy you got here, Nick. 4 speeds ahead, a siren, 2 searchlights. Anytime you need a chauffeur regular, I'll hire on.
Like driving my car, huh?
It's like handling a baby carriage. Uh-oh, we're turned into 54th Street now, Nick.
All right, Shorty. Slow down a little. Now, what was it you heard your passenger say?
One says the quickest way to get there is through the park. I'll tell you where to turn off. And then the other guy says it's on West 54th Street and there's a flag out. And then the other guy shuts the partition and I don't hear no more.
Well, 54th Street doesn't run very far here on this side.
I don't see nothing on this block.
Flags. Usually on public buildings, aren't they?
You think maybe this is going to be a clue, Nick?
Shorty, everything's a clue when you don't have much to go on.
Nick, look. Flagpole.
Yeah, very handsome flagpole.
Yeah, but it's a police station.
A police station? Good.
What's good about it? Let's get out of here.
You're safe until tomorrow night, Riley keeps his word.
You want I should keep going slow?
Nope. I got the first link in our chain. You can put the speed on again.
Where to now?
To pick up Patsy. I sent her to the Bureau of Missing Persons on 30th Street.
Ah, Nick, another cop house. I don't like them places.
George Day, 2345 Elmhurst Drive, occupation truck driver. When last seen was wearing gray coveralls.
No, he's not the one.
Gee, Nick, the guy ain't been missing long enough for anybody to get excited about it. He's only been dead a few hours.
I'm playing a hunch, Shorty.
Oh.
You want me to read the rest of the names on the list, Nick?
Wait a minute, Patsy.
Hmm?
Did
you have a school teacher on the list?
Yes, how did you know?
Never mind. What did he look like?
Well, let me see. There. Ivan Johnson, number 2, St. Anne's Drive. Occupation, professor of ancient history.
Good.
When last seen was wearing dark blue overcoat, gray hat, white shirt, blue tie, and always wears...
Wears pince-nez glasses.
Yes.
So did our corpse. The glasses were missing at the time, but the bridge of his nose bore prints of them.
Boy, I'm glad I'm going straight. Even the dead wake up and talk when Nick Carter gets on the case.
Nick, how in the world did you know it would be a school teacher?
Well, I didn't for sure. But nose glasses, plus chalk under the nail of the index finger, plus a sensitive face and the general appearance added up to teacher for me when I looked at the corpse. Next, I figured if he were a school teacher, he'd be expected home by 5 o'clock. His wife or family would be unduly worried if he hadn't showed up by 8 or so and would call the Missing Persons Bureau.
But who would murder a poor school teacher?
One step at a time, Bessie. And we know this much already. Now, Mr. Johnson intended going to the 54th Street police station when he and his murderer hailed Shorty's cab.
Oh, I see, Nick. Then you think that Professor Johnson was killed because of something he intended to tell the authorities?
Simple the way he tells it, ain't it? 1, 2, 3.
Yes, you're very clever, Mr. Carter. But don't you think maybe his wife could tell us what it was he was going to tell the cops? Perhaps he told her first.
Yes, Patsy, that's just what I do think. What was his address?
Just a minute. Yes, here it is. Number 2, St. Anne's Drive.
Right. Okay, Shorty. Take us to number 2, St. Anne's Drive. Then hurry. Mrs. Johnson, I'm Nick Carter. And this is my assistant, Patsy Bowen.
How do you do? How do you do, Mrs. Johnson?
Did the police send you, Mr. Carter? Did they find him? Did they find my husband?
I'm only here to ask you a few questions concerning your husband.
Oh, then they haven't found him.
I really can't say. Now, tell me, did your husband mention whom he was going to see after school hours today?
Ivan always comes right home after his classes.
I thought that he might have had some special appointment today.
Oh, no.
Mr. Johnson, how was your husband feeling when he left for school this morning?
Oh, he was in such a mood this morning. Talked about right and justice until my head fairly whirled. You know, he doesn't like to see people cheated, Mr. Carter. Ivan's a very honest person.
What do you mean, cheated, Mrs. Johnson?
He said he wasn't going to stand by and see the students in his school tricked out of their dimes and quarters. He was going to see right and justice done.
The kids are being cheated. What school is this?
The Central High School. Ivan is an ancient history professor. He's taught there for 12 years.
And where's his office there?
Why, he's had the same office all that time. Number 12 on the first floor. I've always been happy about that. It's such a sunny little room.
Well, Mrs. Johnson, you've been very helpful.
Do you think they'll find him tonight? Do you think something terrible has happened?
Why, the police will keep you informed. Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Johnson. Try to get some sleep.
Oh, thank you, but I couldn't. Not till Ivan's home. Safe.
Nick, I thought you were going to the school where Professor Johnson taught. That's not over here in the West Side Business District.
Glad to see you on your toes, Patsy, and working on all 4 cylinders. Nose to the grindstone, shoulder to the wheel, and all that. I'm proud of you.
All right. But what are we doing over here?
In just a moment, you'll see for yourself.
This is the place, Nick.
Right, Shorty. All right, come on, Patsy.
Want me to go with you, Nick?
No, you stay here and keep your eyes open.
Okay, and good luck.
Come on, Patsy. We still got a lot to do if we want to keep Shorty out of Lieutenant Riley's foul clutches. I'm glad they didn't lock the front door in this office building tonight.
Hey, that's funny. There's no night watchman here. There usually is.
Well, Patsy, never look a gift horse in the teeth. No watchman, no trouble.
Gee, it's spooky in here. There's one little light in this whole foyer. Wish we brought Shorty in with us.
He'll do us more good, keeping watch outside.
You really think this is where Ivan Johnson was this afternoon?
Well, we know Shorty picked him up in front of this building. And this is the only office building in this block. All the rest are warehouses.
It's pretty deserted, if you ask me.
And the elevators, of course, have stopped for the night. And this is a 10-story building.
Well, Nick, maybe if we look at the directory board, we'll be able to figure out what office Professor Johnson might have visited.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Now, let's see. Doesn't seem to be a name on this directory that helps us out at all.
There isn't, is there? Oh, Nick, what'll we do?
Doesn't take much brain work to figure that one. Maybe we can tell if we have a look at the doors of the offices in this building. So, we'll just have to go from office to office. Now, come on. Let's start climbing.
There's nobody on this floor.
All doctors and dentist offices. Don't think Johnson's business was with any of them today. Come on. Up we go.
See anything on this floor, Nick?
No. Nobody or nothing to interest a school teacher.
Nick, I just don't think I can make another floor.
You've got to, Patsy. We must cover every floor.
Well, this is the top.
Yeah. And we don't know any more than we did before.
Nick, this place is as empty as a number 2 ration book. We might as well... What is it?
Thought I heard something.
Nick, there's someone in that office.
Yeah. And yet the lights are out.
The name on the door says Gerald Ramsey, promotion counselor.
Let's pay him a visit. Stay behind me now, to the left of my flash.
Right.
And who is flashing that pretty light in my office at this time of night?
Mr. Ramsey?
That's my name. And yours?
Nick Carter.
Surely you don't mean that you're Nick Carter, the great detective.
That's who he is, Mr. Ramsey.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Ramsey, but my assistant and I were just having a look around this building.
Oh, well, too bad the fuse is blown out of my office here. Or you could have a good look. Who are you after?
You don't happen to know of any business in this building that might have dealings with a school teacher, do you?
A school teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. A school teacher. Why, no, there is. I never heard of it. But then there's such a lot I never heard of.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you knocked over that whole stack of packages.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Ramsey. I dropped my handkerchief and I was leaning over to pick it up. Anything breakable in them?
Oh, no. It's quite all right.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Yes, just some things a friend of mine left here until he came back. Just leave them there. I'll take care of them.
No, at least let me pick them up.
No. Never mind. Just leave them there. They won't mind staying where they are for a while, I'm sure.
Well, all right, if you say so.
Yes, I do. So you can just run along and continue your search for whatever it was you were looking for. Good evening.
Good evening. Now, Patsy, if you're okay, we better be on our way. Sorry we disturbed your reverie, Mr. Ramsey.
Reverie? That's good.
Really? He was an odd specimen. You think he knows anything, Nick?
Well, if he does, he isn't talking. Come on.
Oh, gosh, Nick, all that climbing up and downstairs just for nothing. I'm worn out.
Maybe it wasn't all for nothing, Patsy.
You mean you found a clue somewhere here?
I don't mean anything yet.
Oh, but Nick...
I hope you can still walk well enough to get down the 10 flights of stairs ahead of us, Patsy. I don't feel quite like carrying you just now.
I guess I can make it under my own power. Where to now?
Central High School. Times are wasting, and we still haven't uncovered a clue to the murder of the man in Shorty's cab.
Gosh, Nick, what do you expect to find in a schoolhouse at this time of night?
Clues to Johnson's murder, I hope.
No use, Nick. The janitor's not here.
I'll have one more try.
That racket should wake up the ghost of Hamlet.
No answer.
So Nick Carter's trusty pick lock will do the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's black as pitch in there.
Stay right beside me.
Seems to me I heard that one before tonight. And look, Nick. I barked my shins in the dark in that character's office. And so if you don't mind, this time I'd like to see where I'm going.
Okay, Patsy. I'll use my flash and keep it down low. Shin height.
No, that's better.
Now, come on. our friend Shorty's going to be sitting in the clink with a murder rap pinned on him.
Okay.
She said his office was on the first floor, didn't she?
Yes, number 12. All bright and sunny. Here we are, Nick. Number 12. I wish it were bright and sunny in here now.
This time we'll just dispense with the formalities of announcing ourselves.
The door's open, Nick.
Yes. So it is. Come on. Snap on the light, Betsy. Switch is right behind you.
Okay.
Hey. Well, looks like somebody else has given Mr. Johnson's room a going over. I'm afraid we got here too late.
Papers all over the floor, window wide open. What do you suppose they were looking for?
Same thing we are, Betsy. Clues. Except for a different reason.
You think it was the murderer?
Could be. Wow.
What are you reading, Nick?
There's a poster on the wall here.
Oh.
$1 buys a destroyer, high school students. Subscribe just $1 to the high school victory lead and help buy a destroyer. That's the second time tonight I've seen something like that.
Oh, where's my hanky?
Need any help?
No, I've got one right here in my pocket. There.
Hey, wait a minute. Where'd you get this?
What?
The sticker that came out of your pocket with a handkerchief.
Well, I don't know, Nick. Why?
Why? It's got the same legend stamped on it that poster has. Victory League.
Well, so it has.
Did you buy this sticker?
No, I buy my destroyers by buying war bonds.
Well, think, Patsy. Where did you get it? It was in your pocket with your handkerchief.
Well, I don't know, Nick. I never put anything in this little pocket except my handkerchief. I can swear to this sticker. See anybody?
No. No, nobody here now. Are you okay, Patsy?
Well, I guess so. What happened?
I just happened to look up in time to see a man poking a gun through the open window.
So that's why you pushed me out of the way so fast.
Yes, there was no time to be polite.
Thanks, Nick. Did you recognize the man at the window?
No. Too bad. But he got away.
Gee, Nick, you certainly shot that light out fast.
Well, if he can't see us, he can't shoot us.
A very logical deduction, Mr. Carter.
Hey, Patsy. Give me that sticker you picked up tonight.
You think it means something to this case?
You bet I do. I've just remembered where I've seen one like it.
Oh, where, Nick?
Never mind now. Well, Patsy, this case is beginning to add up. If I'm not mistaken, the sticker splits it wide open. Come on. I've got a job for you to do, on your own, and right now.
That means you've got a job that you're going to do on your own.
Right. Now, this is the plan. And if it works, we'll nail our murderer red-handed.
Boss, you in here?
My dear fellow, you know I'm in here. Did you get the fuse fixed?
Yeah, and while I was fixing it, I got something else, too. Come on in, do. Here, snap on the light and see what I picked up snooping around down the basement of this building. See?
Nick Carter. Well. Mr. Carter, back again. Still looking for the same thing?
No, I found what I was looking for.
Oh, good. Good. It's very fine.
I already lifted his rod, boss. What'll I do with him now?
You've had your chance, my dear fellow. Now it's mine.
You know, I have a general impression you men don't like me very well.
Oh, sure, Mr. Carter. We love you. But we'll love you a lot better when you don't talk no more.
Put very bluntly, Mr. Carter, but that is the idea.
Now, Mr. Ramsey, just what do you think I could say that would harm you?
Now, don't let him fool you, boss. When I was hiding in the bushes outside the window back there at the schoolhouse, I heard him tell the dame the case was wide open.
Shut up, Lefty.
Oh, so it was you who took those shots at us through the window?
Yeah, and you ain't going to do nothing about it. You was pretty smart, though, figuring out it was Mr. Ramsey what rubbed out the school teacher.
You are a complete idiot. Stop that fool tongue of yours.
Ah, what's a diff, boss? He ain't going to live to tell it.
True. That's true. Yeah, since you know so much already, we have only one recourse, Mr. Carter. Give me the gun, Lefty.
Yeah, boss.
This one's on me.
Just a minute, Ramsey. As long as I'm not going to live to tell it, maybe you'll confirm a deduction I made.
Certainly, my dear fellow. The condemned man is always granted one last request. Speak up.
This high school victory league's a phony, isn't it? You're playing on the patriotism of school kids to get them to donate their money to build destroyers and planes, but the money never gets any further than your own pocket. Isn't that it?
Oh, yes, Mr. Carter. Since you put it bluntly that way, I am forced to admit that you're entirely correct. But may I ask what it was that led you to believe that I was behind the league?
Yes. When I was at Professor Johnson's office, I saw a poster on the wall advertising your dirty leak.
Oh, please, Mr. Carter.
I mean just that. Swindling high school students out of their few dollars in the name of a patriotism that you never do the meaning of is about the lowest form of stealing that I know of.
Oh, just let me take a poke at him, will you?
No. We can afford to be good-natured. Mr. Carter hasn't much time left, you know. Do go on, Mr. Carter.
Well, as I said, I saw the poster on the wall advertising your dirty racket. And then Patsy found one of your stickers in her handkerchief where she'd picked it up off your floor. I recall then seeing that each of the packages she knocked over in here had a sample sticker pasted on it. It was easy enough then to put 2 and 2 together and get the required 4.
It's too bad that your undoubted excellence in mathematics can't save you.
And all because one little school teacher suspected his kids were being cheated.
Poor Professor Johnson. It was too bad for him that I found him wandering around this building, looking for the offices of the high school Victory League. He told me he suspected it was a phony outfit, and he was going to see right and justice done. I offered to take him right to the police station, and I did. Although I wasn't with him when he got there.
Very funny.
Hurry up, boss. We got work to do.
Yes. Well, Mr. Carter, this is it.
Blasted banshees, Nick. Don't do this to me again. I tell you, my nerves won't stand it.
Oh, what's the matter, Riley? You got your men. They're lying on the ground here, howling like stuck pigs.
Yeah, sure, but what if I hadn't hit him when he aimed at you, Nick? What if I'd missed?
Oh, Nick, your plan worked beautifully. The whole thing. Getting yourself found by Ramsey's henchmen and my getting Riley up here to hear the confession and everything.
Yeah, Patsy, but don't run such a split-second chance of life and death again, Nick. My heart won't stand it.
Well, that was worth it. Just to see Ramsey walk into the trap like a bear looking for honey.
Hey, Nick.
Oh, Shorty, come on in. Take a look at our handiwork.
Gee, so that's the bum who tried to frame me to the hot seat.
He'll be getting it himself before long. Thanks to Nick Carter.
Riley, I want to tell you something. Of all the criminals I've tracked down, catching Ramsey gave me the most pleasure. A fellow like that trading on the patriotism of school kids is about the lowest rat in the world. Why, bad as the Nazis are, a guy like this is worse.
You're right, Nick.
You said it, Nick.
All right, you've got all the evidence you need. Mm-hmm. The package of posters in the next room, the package of stickers here, and the confession.
Right, Nick. We can take over from here. Thanks.
Okay, Riley. So long.
So long, Nick. So long, Patsy.
So long, Lieutenant.
Oh, Patsy, come on. Chin up. Carry on and all that sort of thing.
It's not my chin that's worrying me, Nick. It's having to walk down those 10 flights of stairs again. That'll be the 4th trip tonight.
Why, Patsy. And at your age, too.
Look, Nick. Can't we just sit here on the top step for the next 6 hours?
You think you'd be rested enough then to walk down the 10 flights?
I think that by then the elevators will be running again. And what a wonderful invention the elevator is.
This has been another of the strange adventures of Nick Carter, Master Detective, which are brought to you regularly each week at this same time by WOR Mutual. Now, tell us a little about next week's story, Nick. Well, next week's story includes rather more adventure than actual detecting.
But if Nick hadn't been able to make the first few deductions that really started him off on the right track, there would have been no adventure.
And there was adventure and plenty of it. I came nearer to meeting my match when I met Dr. Donaldson than at any other time in my career.
This Dr. Donaldson was a specialist in secret and dangerous poisons, and he tried one of them out on Nick.
But in the end, I managed to get the better of him and solve a mystery that had the police completely stopped.
We call it the empty coffin because it was an empty coffin that gave us the first clue.
And it was 2 different doctors making out 2 separate death certificates for the same death that led to that first clue. Well, that's enough for now. Join us next week for the story of the empty coffin. So long.
So long, folks.
And so long to you, Nick and Patsy. Until next week. In the strange adventure you have just heard, Nick Carter was impersonated by Lon Clark, Patsy by Helen Choate. The story was written for Nick Carter by Barth Conry. Original music was played by Lou White. The entire production was under the direction of Jock McGregor. Next week at the same time, listen to another curious experience of Nick Carter entitled
The Empty Coffin, or Nick Carter and the Mystery of the Doctor's Poison.
This story is a copyrighted feature of Street and Smith Publications, Incorporated. The Return of Nick Carter is produced in the studios of WOR and is broadcast over most of these stations every Saturday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern Wartime. And don't forget that the adventures of Nick's adopted son, Chick Carter, are broadcast over most of these stations Mondays through Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Wartime. This is Mutual.
This I believe. It is not wholly surprising that the first woman member in the history of the British Parliament was born an American. In 1906, Nancy Langhorne of Greenwood, Virginia, married the second Viscount Astor, and as Lady Astor, became the center of a brilliant intellectual circle which included, among other famous figures, the late George Bernard Shaw. She also became one of the most hard-hitting debaters in the British Parliament, and a fiery advocate of many and diverse causes. This is what Lady Astor believes.
If anybody had told me as a child in Virginia that one day I was going to be the first woman to sit in the House of Commons, I would have thought them daft. But if I told people the things I prayed for as a child in Virginia, they'd have thought me daft. I can never remember the time that I didn't pray. I had a blind faith in God. And I believed in goodness, and I saw it so much around about me. First, the unselfish goodness of my mother, and then the goodness of my old mammy, who was on intimate terms with Jesus. She's always talking to Mr. Jesus, and she made me believe that I could talk to Mr. Jesus. She was one of the best people that ever lived. And then another thing, I believe in discipline. I was early taught that crime didn't pay. I was spanked, put to bed, and made to know right from wrong. And yet I don't remember ever having any resentment against my parents. But my basic beliefs have always been two things: in the Bible and in the mission of the English thinking people. You'll ask me that's why. Well, I'll tell you why. Because I was taught the Bible from the time I was a child, and I was also taught that why the English people were what they were is because they translated the Bible into the common language. And then they became an uncommon people. And I believe that the English thinking people are the hope of the world today. I know it's not a popular belief, and it's just like a popular belief that all men were born equal. I don't believe that all men were born equal. Anything more unequal than man the world's never seen. I mean, they haven't got the same parents, they haven't got the same environment, nor do I believe in the common man. I believe in the uncommon man. And I believe that's the whole of the Christ message. You've got the right to be what you want if you claim the fatherhood of God. But until you do, you won't get the brotherhood of man. And you may be God's child, but if you don't claim it, what's the good? You might be a millionaire's child, but if you don't know him, you may be a pauper. And the world's full of paupers because they don't believe in God. I don't believe that this is a dark age. All. It may be a very light age. It might be the best age that we've ever had. Bernard Shaw reminded me once that more people had heard about God and religion than ever before in the history of man, because there were more people who could read now than ever before, and they got it on the radio and now in the television. Well, that's encouraging. And the second encouraging thing is that the two best sellers in the world today are the Bible, and the second one, Science and Health with Key to the Scripture, by Mary Baker Eddy, an American woman of Scotch descent, whose vision has brought light and understanding to the world and restored the healing of sickness and sin. Now, this is a scientific age, and people will only believe what they can prove, and they're quite right. There's no good believing in mathematics until you can understand it and do the sum. People throughout the world in all countries are reaching out for something, and God's there. And someday, and we may be nearer it than we know, when we realize the fatherhood of God, we'll get the brotherhood of man, and then you will have peace on earth. I do not believe civilization is going to fail if it's based on the Christ message.
There, the creed of Viscountess Astor, an American-born English lady of international renown.
Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the night beat for the Chicago Star. The stories I run into start in a million different ways. This one began with a gun in my face and ended with the number 13.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
It's night again in Chicago, and that's when I start out looking for a story that'll make you say, it takes all kinds to make a world. Yeah, it sure does. One by one I pass them. That girl over there with her hair held tightly in place by a scarf. Each carefully marcelled wave a hopeful assurance that she'll end up looking like somebody in a movie magazine. Or that beaten old man picking a crumbled, soiled newspaper out of a rubbish can. Why does he want a paper? He knows tomorrow will be the same for him no matter what happens in France or England or just around the corner. So tonight, I found myself in a quiet section of the residential district. I wondered what was behind the lighted squares of glass and what went on. Who were those people and what were their problems? I kept going and I walked into...
I beg your pardon.
Oh, yes?
I hesitate to bother you, sir, but do you have a match?
Have a lighter, will that do?
Thank you.
There you are.
Oh, just a moment.
Yeah.
I am afraid I didn't get a light after all.
What's the matter, Pop? Afraid to ask me for the touch? Here.
Please, put your hands up.
What?
I'm not joking. I have a gun.
Oh, I see it.
Put your hands up.
Okay. Like this?
I warn you, I'll shoot if you try anything.
Well, rule number 1 when facing a stick-up man who's obviously pulling his first job, be very careful.
It's not my first.
Oh, a hardened old offender,
Hand me your wallet.
What, with my hands in the air?
Well, put them down, but remember what I said now.
Sure. Why is a nice-looking old man like you doing this?
Stop talking and hand me your wallet.
All right. Here.
Now turn around. Face the wall. And don't try to follow me.
Pop, hand me the gun and tell me all about it.
Don't come to me.
The gun, Pop. Now hand it over. We'll have a talk. Maybe over a cup of coffee.
Stay away, I said.
I should have had better sense. A novice at a stick-up is like a kid with the Einstein theory. He doesn't know what it's all about, and he shoots out of sheer fright and nervousness. That sharp, searing pain across my temple before I blacked out told me a bullet had creased my skull. That's all I remembered until I woke up in a precinct police station.
Well, coming out of it, huh, Stone?
Oh, my head, Kalski, did you get him?
Nope. Prowl car picked you up. Somebody reported a shot.
Oh, and you brought me here.
Want to try sitting up?
Oh, sure. No. How close was it?
Quarter of an inch from pay dirt, I'd say.
Kalski, you are now looking at a prize boob.
Oh?
Oh, yes. I tried to take a gun away from a stick-up man.
You ought to have better sense.
But this was different. I don't think he ever did it before.
I has to start sometime.
Yeah, but he, want a description?
That's what I'm waiting for, Randy.
Man about 70.
70?
70.
Oh, with a long white beard.
Kalski, the man, was about 70. A little over 5.5 feet.
Sure. Name of Rip Van Winkle?
For all I know, it might be. When you find him, he'll have my wallet on him. Oh, and Kalski.
Yeah?
He's nervous enough to take a shot at anybody. Next time, you might be able to hold a gun a little steadier and on target. So, 10 minutes later, I left the precinct station. Kalski put out a call for the little old man who made like Jesse James. I went back to my desk at the Star. Maybe I had a story. I wanted to wait until the police picked up the old man because whatever made him turn bandit was a story. An hour passed, and I was just about getting ready to give up.
Oh, hi, Mr. Stone.
Oh, hello, Larry.
I didn't come in this time of night. You're almost always out.
Larry, you don't know how close I was to that. Permanently.
Hurt your head?
Yeah.
How?
Well, I was wearing my hat with a feather in the band.
Huh?
Yes, I got mixed up in a badminton game.
I don't get it.
Well, you work on it, kid. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, I get it. Feather, badminton.
A for effort, Larry.
Oh, hey, I almost forgot.
What?
Here's a package for you.
For me? What is it?
I don't know. Open it up and see.
Ah, that's working them out, kid. Where did you get this?
Hey, that's a wallet with some dough in it.
It's mine. I said, where'd you get this?
Dane gave it to him.
Where is she?
Left, I guess.
By the elevator?
I guess so. Leastways, she was waiting for it when I...
You sure it wasn't a man?
I'm old enough to tell the difference.
Oh, I stand here chewing the phone.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, Mr. Stone.
Larry, stay by the phone. Take down anything that comes in. The woman who brought back my wallet had 8 floors to go down on that slow night elevator. I had a chance to beat her to the lobby, so I took the stairs 5 at a time. And then I was in the lobby, but the elevator had beaten me down. I ran over to the night man.
Well, hello there, Mr. Stone.
How are you?
You didn't come down in the elevator?
Yeah, how long you been down here?
Oh, just a couple of seconds.
A woman ride down with you?
Yeah, from your floor.
She go outside?
Yeah. Hey, something wrong?
Come on with me, will you?
Why all the fuss?
Would you recognize the woman if you saw her again?
Oh, I guess so.
Now take a look both ways. Tell me if you see her.
Had on a little hat, old lady, too.
Old? How old?
60, 65, thereabouts.
You see her?
Ain't sure, but I think that's her at the bus stop.
Which side of the street?
Other side, next block.
Okay, thanks. See you later. Maybe it was she, maybe it wasn't. I hurried across the street just as a bus pulled up and took on a passenger. A little old lady wearing a little hat. I reached the stop as the bus was pulling away.
Hey, you always stick your head in front of buses like that, Buster?
Yeah, I get results in rides that way.
Yeah.
There were other vacant seats in the bus, but the one I wanted was next to a little old lady. A little old lady whose eyes were red, as though she'd been having a real good old-fashioned cry. She didn't even notice me sit down on the seat beside her. For a moment, I just sat and watched her frail, blue-veined hands pulling on a wet handkerchief and sobbing. There's something wrong, lady.
No, I'm all right.
Thanks for returning my wallet. There's $10 missing.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything about your wallet.
You know, be easy to check that. We get off, we take a bus back to the Star Building. There's a night man and an office boy who saw it.
This is my stop.
2 blocks from the paper? That's a short ride. Now, look, I don't know what this is all about, but I'm willing to learn. Now, you can either tell me here or we can go somewhere else.
Can't you just forget it, please?
Forget it. I could have been killed.
I know, but he didn't mean it.
Who was he, or who is he?
He's my husband.
Oh. Well, do you want to talk about it?
If I tell you why he did it, will you help him?
Look, let's get off this bus. We'll take a cab to... Well, where?
I want to go home.
All right. I'll take you home. But something tells me I'm sticking my neck out.
Will you sit down, Mr. Stone?
No, not right away. Is your husband here?
No.
All right, let's have the truth, Mrs. Benson. Why did your husband hold me up?
It was the only way he could get the money tonight.
Well, why tonight?
We need $200 by tomorrow morning.
Oh? Then why return my wallet to me with over $50 in it? Why didn't he keep it all?
He needed just enough to...
Enough for what, Mrs. Benson?
I want to show you something. Then you'll understand. Here. Look at these.
Now, what are these?
Look at them.
Yes, I'm looking. Well, what do they mean? Figures, problems, pages of them, notebooks filled with...
His system for winning at roulette.
Winning it? Oh, no.
For the last 10 years, he's done nothing but work on it.
Well, there's always one of those, the big brain who can sit down and beat the little numbers that go around.
Oh, please.
Does he have any idea how many of these systems have put period to a lot of rosy dreams?
He believes in it.
Yeah, they all do.
Harry's no fool. He's a brilliant man, Mr. Stone. He was a professor of mathematics.
Was?
Yes. But they said he was too old, retired him.
No other jobs?
Nobody wanted a mathematician or a man almost 70.
Yeah, but this gambling, he should know better. The odds are never with the player, only with the house.
At first it was just a hobby. He liked to work out the odds, and then when things got desperate...
Yes, and now?
We have the cent.
And tonight he's going to play his big system. Where?
I don't know. I told you, I don't know.
Did he take the gun?
No, he left it here.
Well, that's one good thing anyway.
What will you do now?
I don't know.
And the police?
They're looking for him already.
Oh, get to him first, Mr. Stone.
Why?
He won't let himself be arrested like a thief. That's the last thing he said. He wouldn't let the police arrest him.
You are listening to Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
So there I had it, a little old ex-professor of mathematics with another system for beating an unbeatable game. There's something in each of us that makes every individual believe he's different. The I can do better philosophy is human. If it weren't, we wouldn't have the Brooklyn Bridge, the better mousetrap, or the fellow who blinks his eyes in bewilderment and says, I thought I had it all figured out. Okay, I decided to go after Professor Benson. I headed for a spot where I thought I might pick up some information.
What's in your mind, Stone? They said you wanted to see me.
Just for a minute, Cully.
Okay, what?
How's the game going?
Win a little, I lose a little. You want in?
No, not tonight. Tell the truth, Cully, I'm looking for a bigger layout.
Blue chips here are 500. How big can you get?
Oh, some. But this is a private poker party.
Yeah, I wouldn't want news of it to get around.
Oh, don't worry, Cully. I did you a favor.
Now remember, give me a break in your paper. Okay, what do you want?
I want to know where there's a roulette layout.
Don't know?
You get around.
Some, but I don't talk about it.
Just this once, Cully.
Why?
I'm looking for somebody who might be playing.
Why?
I gotta find it.
Why?
Oh, Cully, you're repeating yourself.
Anything else? Maybe I'd do you a favor. This? No. Besides, I don't think there's a wheel in town.
I think there is.
Okay, you think. Now, so long, sir.
All right.
Oh, before you go...
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd make this the last stop. You ask funny questions, and you might not get such funny answers.
It was the same in the other three places. And after hitting each one, I checked with the police, but Professor Benson seemed to have got himself swallowed up somewhere in the 1,000 square miles of Chicago. And then I was on my way again, trying to remember all the likely places until...
Hi. Mind if I walk with you?
Now, what if I did?
Oh, I'd walk anyway. I need exercise. My doctor says so. Hey, you got a doctor?
Oh, yeah. What's your problem?
Oh, not much you couldn't clean up, Stone.
Oh, you know me, hmm?
Sure, everybody knows Randy Stone. You're real famous, like. You're getting even more famous tonight.
What's the answer to that?
You've been around a few places.
And that's illegal?
No, but it's silly.
Okay, so I'm silly. So long. Glad to meet you.
Hey, not so fast, Stone. We got to talk.
On what subject?
Money. That suit you?
All right. Get rid of it. What have you got to say?
Look, Stone, everybody wants peace and quiet. The whole world's in a mix-up because one guy don't agree with the other guy, right?
Oh, my. Another big thinker with brass knuckles.
Yeah. Now, like I say, everybody wants peace and quiet. But there's a lot of guys have to make a living in a funny way.
Why don't you get to the point?
Sure. Now, take you, for instance, for example, huh? Your boss says, Stone, go out and see how many gambling joints are buzzing. So you, being a nice, hard worker, you
Nobody
go out...
sent me out for that.
Okay, so nobody sends. But somebody sends me.
So what about it?
Nothing. Only everybody likes to see everybody else happy. Maybe this could do it for you.
How much is that?
$1,000.
I'm stirring up a lot of muddy water, huh?
Yeah. You've been to 3-4 places. And to the cops.
Not for what you think.
I ain't paid to think, only to carry out orders. This is one. Want the dough?
Listen, I'm only looking...
Yeah. Looking for somebody. Cut it out.
I'm telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth, too. Stone, put your nose in one more place where they don't like stuck-in noses. And somebody will push it right to the back of your head.
Sometime, somewhere, somebody said there's nothing like a quiet fireside, complete with pipe and slippers. But can you make a career out of it? For that matter, can you make a career out of a hold-up, a creased skull, and a nasty little hoodlum? Well, I was trying to. And just to find an ex-professor who had a very common disease. I can't lose-itis. Okay, I'd try one or two more places, and then I'd quit. I got the same answers. And by this time, the name of Randy Stone was enough to close more doors than a quarantine sign. I was asking for it, and I got it.
Stone.
Huh?
Here I am again.
Oh, yes, I see. Okay, you win. Let's forget the whole thing.
Just like that, huh? Over here, you guys. You brought some friends.
I said you win. Let's forget it.
Yeah, you was told. You didn't pay attention.
Here's your head, fella. Beat me up, and every newspaper in town will get the story. They'll really split things open.
I got orders.
Oh, forget him. Go back and tell the guy.
I got orders. Besides, you ought to be a good example to any other cookie who thinks he's a one-man vice squad. You guys close it.
Now, listen to me. I'm not out to set up a knockover for anything. I'm hunting for someone.
Don't go through that again.
It's the truth.
Max, start the ball rolling.
You're an idiot.
To think you could have had $1,000 instead of this. Hey, now your nose looks much better.
A professional working over is done with finesse. It's meant to stop just short of murder, but leave a nasty memory. When I came to, I was propped against a building in the alley, and the world at that moment was a bad place. And I was mad, and my anger was for the little professor with his system. Now I really wanted to find him and turn him over to the police. But I couldn't find him the way I'd started out. No one had talked. No one except perhaps one person. One of those strange, pathetic creatures known as a stoolie. I cleaned myself up in the nearest washroom, grabbed a cab, and went to see him at a dirty, shabby rooming house. He was there.
Look, Randy, you got yourself worked over already. What do you want from me, huh?
Just a little information, Gus.
Yeah, I know. Nobody comes to me except for that. Someday I'm going to buy a chicken farm and get out of this business.
Yeah, now listen, you know everything that goes on in this town, within limitations.
Yeah, I know plenty, but not everything.
Well, most of it. I want you to find out something for me.
Yeah?
There's a roulette wheel somewhere.
I don't know nothing.
Oh, come on, Gus, come on.
Randy, sir, help me. Hope to kiss a pig. Nothing.
Don't be afraid, Gus. I'm not starting a cleanup. I just want to find something.
I know from nothing.
For $50?
Huh?
$50.
It ain't good, Randy. I done a lot of favors for the cops. They shoot square with me. They kind of see I don't get hurt, but you...
This isn't a crusade. I want to find someone.
You leveling, Randy?
I'm leveling.
Well, if you ain't, if anything happens, both of us could end up real bad in the red. I do a nice business.
All right, just between you and me, Gus. Now, how about it?
$75?
Okay, 75.
Now?
I haven't got it on me. You know I'm good for it.
Then send it to me, not in person.
All right. I'll send it to you.
Uh-huh. Now, who do you want to find?
So I left it with Gus, and he arranged to call me at a pay station as soon as he learned anything. I waited in front of the phone for an hour, and then an hour and a half. And all the while I wondered what was happening with Professor Benson. The thing was building up in my mind. It'd be ironic if his system worked with my money. What would I do? What could I do? Whose money would it be? Then the call came through in the booth. Hello?
Randy?
Oh, yeah, Gus.
Yeah, I got what you want, but you got to promise no knockover.
No, I told you that.
Okay. There's a little guy like you told me about. He's playing the wheel.
Where?
Remember the old Dixie Club?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a layout in the back. Everything from Pharaoh to one-armed bandits. All fancy.
And he's there?
Yeah. And Randy.
What?
You better get there quick.
Why? What's the matter?
This guy's hotter than a $2 pistol, and the boys running the joint are getting cross with him.
All right. I'll see you.
Now, hold it.
What?
Will you? You gotta know how to get in.
Yeah, that might be handy. How do I do it?
Well, when you get to the door, just say, the name is McReady. See?
Yeah. McReady. I I went back to Mrs. Benson because I figured I might need her. And then the two of us went to the old Dixie Club. From the outside, it looked like a boarded-up house, but Gus knew what he was talking about. A knock on the door, it opened a tiny bit, and I was McReady. Then the door opened all the way. Mrs. Benson and I went in, back to a big room filled with people. But the dice game was deserted, so was the blackjack table, and the faro layout, also the poker tables. But the crowd pressed in against the roulette table, around a little old man whose face was flushed and whose skin glistened with perspiration. In front of him was a huge stack of chips, and as Mrs. Benson and I approached the table...
Number 11, Black.
I won. I won again. It's working. You see, everyone, it's working.
Hello, Benson.
Stone.
Uh-huh. Doing all right, huh?
Please, you're not here to take me away.
Well, that's the general idea.
Harry, come with us.
Oh, no. Look, I've got all this, and there's more to come.
Okay, you're ahead. But there is something else. Earlier this evening, you...
Here's your money. Take it.
Harry, I've never seen you like this.
All this money, yours and mine.
Yeah, all right. Now, come on. Pick it up and let's go.
No, I won't let you take me till I play to the end of my system.
Your system, yeah.
Yes. I've waited for this. Waited till I knew I was right. Now you want to
Take it easy. What's your trouble, mister?
Are you speaking to me?
Right to you.
Who are you?
I happen to run this place.
Well, it's slightly illegal, isn't
Who
it?
are you?
I'll tell you. He's a newspaper man. His name is Stone, and he wants to take me away.
Stone, huh? How'd you get in here?
I know a man named McReady.
I wish I knew how you got to know him.
I was introduced. Now, let's cut out the small talk.
$5,000 isn't small talk. That's what he's into me for.
Any objection if he takes it and leaves?
I won't. You listen to me.
Harry, don't you know what you've done tonight?
Yes, I do. I've won for us.
All right, then take it and leave.
No, I said no. For 40 years, I gave everything I had to other people. What did they give me? A gold watch and a wonderful speech. But Dora and I couldn't eat the speech. Maybe if you spent over half your life in trying.
Harry.
All right, well, what do we do now?
It's up to him. He's playing a closed table. If he wants to go on, all right.
I do.
That answer you, Stone?
And what'll happen?
What do you mean by that?
Figure it out.
I see. You know what could happen, don't you, Stone?
Sure, I've met a few muscle boys already tonight.
Could get worse.
Okay. All right, Benson, it's your funeral. You've got $5,000 in front of you now. You can take it and leave, or you can play. Suit yourself.
I'm going to play.
No, Harry, no.
I've got 2 more numbers, Dora. 2 more.
Okay, place your bet, Benson.
Yes. 27, red. $1,000. Will you take that much?
I'll cover it. Go ahead.
Harry, for the last time, don't.
No matter what we say, he'll do it. Let him go.
27, red.
All right, spin it.
Sure.
And be careful.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
Please spin the wheel.
Harry.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Go on, spin it.
Sure. Number 27, red.
You see, you thought I was crazy, but look at it. I've won again.
Harry!
Benson! Come on, help me get him away from the
Take him into my office, will you? Get him away from here.
I've got to play one more.
Yeah, sure. You've got to play one more number. Give me a hand, somebody, please. That's it, thank you.
Don't
Come on,
take me away.
Benson. Come on. All right, I'm the couch.
You don't understand. There's one more number. My money. Where is it?
It's at the table. Now, take it easy.
No, my money. Somebody will steal it.
It'll be all right.
Dora, go back and get it. Dora, go back.
I'll call for a doctor.
No. Let me up.
No, Harry, lie down.
My money. Get it, Dora. Get it.
All right.
Get it.
Stay with him, Mrs. Benson. Don't let him up.
Yes.
Well?
How much does he have coming?
Including the last spin, 41,000.
Can you cover?
I'll cover.
All right, cash these.
Wait a minute. Maybe he wants to play some more.
He's finished playing. Cash these.
Okay. Eddie, get 41,000 in the safe.
No! Leave it there.
What?
Leave it there.
What are you talking about?
He wants to play it.
Oh, he's crazy. Let me talk to him.
No, he won't listen. He wants to play it to the end. He made me promise I would.
What? Well, do you want to?
I promised.
All of it?
Yes.
Can you cover that much?
Not at 35 to 1. 20 cents on the dollar, take it or leave it. Take it and I'll spin. Leave it and I'll close the wheel now.
I'll play it.
Oh, for the love of heaven, Mrs. Benson, it's $41,000 here. Do you realize you can lose?
He said I couldn't.
I bet he's got...
I promised I'd play it on number 21.
Oh, let me talk to him. Let me...
No, I made a promise. Play it.
41,000 on number 21 red. Is that what you want? All right.
A fair spin.
A fair spin. And the last one.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
All right. 21 red. Number 13 black. How about that, huh, fellas?
Are you satisfied, Mr. Benson?
Yes, I am. I didn't want it to win. I didn't want that money because it killed him.
It killed him?
Yes, he's dead.
What? Oh, Mrs. Benson, what can I say?
Oh, I was so sure. And I lied to him. I lied. But I didn't want it. It killed him.
You lied? No, you kept your promise. You played for him.
Here.
But his system, it's... Oh, Mrs. Benson, you played 21.
I know. And his last number was 13.
Well, here I sit, back in the office, wondering, watching the lights go out and the dingy gray of dawn creeping through the streets. And somewhere out there is an old woman, a lonely old woman who could have had almost $50,000, but at the loss of something that no amount of money could buy back for her. The man who quit while he was ahead. Yep. Where there's a winner, there's a loser. That's the way it's been, and that's the way it'll always be. Oh, well. Copy, boy.
Night Beats, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Tonight's story was written by Russell Hughes. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth. Others in tonight's cast were Jane Morgan, Stan Waxman, Wilms Herbert, William Tracy, Gerald Moore, and Jack Crucian. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Rock Bottom, released by Warner Brothers. Throughout the week, NBC brings you the very best adventure mystery dramas on the air. You'll hear action-packed, fast-moving plots hold your interest right up to the smashing climax on NBC's thrilling mystery shows. During these stellar programs, you'll hear mystery and intrigue, adventure, and high-tension drama. Match your powers of observation against the best in detective fiction, in solving crimes and unraveling intrigue. There's fast-moving action to lift you from beside your radio into the romantic land of mystery and adventure. These exciting dramas are as interesting as tomorrow's race results today, and you'll hear them every night over most of these NBC stations. Remember, if it's mystery and adventure dramas you're tuned for the best on NBC. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into Night Beat. Now, stay tuned for Brian Donlevy as a soldier of fortune on Dangerous Assignment on NBC.
This, I believe. Viscountess Rhonda is the founder and editor of the British weekly journal Time and Tide. Her wide knowledge of politics and psychology stem from her activities with the Women's Social and Political Union in their fight for suffrage. She took part in street corner meetings and demonstrations and was at one time imprisoned for her activities. In 1915, she was a passenger on the Lusitania when it was torpedoed and was in the sea for 2.5 hours before being rescued. Since succeeding her father in the peerage, she has carried on a fight, unsuccessful so far, to secure admission for women to the House of Lords. Here now is Lady Rhonda.
I am an incurably political animal. I have been thinking and writing about politics, national and international politics, all my life. And the reason I find it so fascinating is, I think, because, above all, I believe in freedom, as much freedom as is possible, always, and for all men. But why do I believe so passionately in freedom? I asked myself that the other day, and the answer took me a long way afield. A great man said once that all human differences are in fact ultimately religious ones. He did not, of course, mean that men never differ on anything but religion, but that every deeply held belief, and therefore every deep division between men, stems ultimately from their views as to the meaning and purpose of life. When I was young, the fashionable belief, at least amongst the intelligentsia, was that the world we see around us, and the brains wherewith we apprehend and try to study it, all came into being as the result of some series of gigantic accidents, in consequence of what both Cicero and Lord Palmerston called the fortuitous concurrence of atoms, and further, that there was nothing in the whole universe beyond what we ourselves, with our 5 senses, could touch, taste, or handle. I considered this view carefully, though doubtfully, for a long while, but I found myself finally quite unable to swallow it. In itself, to accept such an explanation asked for so gigantic an act of faith that my credulity was altogether insufficient. But there was an even greater difficulty than that. Few people, save the completely superficial, can live for long in this world without becoming conscious that, in the words of Professor Gilbert Murray, a great mystery surrounds us, in which the human mind can at best catch glimpses and explain itself in metaphors. All the great religions of the world have been based on the consciousness of this mystery, and provide methods for getting into some sort of touch with it. The fashionable view in the 19th century left this consciousness completely out of account. There were, the pundits were then assured, no more things in heaven and earth than were dreamt of in their philosophy. So I rejected what appeared to me to be an attempt to give an explanation which at best seemed to cover less than half the known facts, and turned back to the Christian faith. Today, that is the religion which I try to practice, and I know now why I believe so deeply in freedom. The world today, surely, is divided everywhere between those who believe in the great 19th century heresy that the life of the individual begins with birth and ends with the grave, and that each man may therefore be justifiably treated as only a unit in society, and those who believe that every individual is a living soul and a child of God, whose destiny did not begin and whose significance does not end with his life on this planet, and who must himself be given the responsibility of freedom.
That was Lady Rhonda, the editor of the British journal Time and Tide, who is a governor of the London School of Economics and president of the University College of South Wales and Monmouthshire.
The makers of Camel cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. Steady pack after pack smoking is the only sensible way to tell how a cigarette will get along with your throat. In a test from coast to coast, hundreds of people smoked only Camels for 30 days. Noted throat specialists made weekly examinations and reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels. Make your own Camel 30-day test. Smoke only Camels for 30 days. See how well Camels agree with your throat, pack after pack, week after week. Here transcribed is Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Diamond Detective Agency. Help.
Rick, what's the matter?
Just that, Helen, dear. Help. I haven't had a client in 3 weeks.
Oh, well, I'll take you to dinner tonight and fatten you up.
No, I'm not hungry. You couldn't just send the money, could you?
No, go ahead and starve. Ferdy Parker asked me to dinner anyway. You remember Ferdy.
Oh, sure. Your old boyfriend, the very old one.
Rick Ferdy's really a very nice boy. Plays polo divinely.
So do horses.
Well, do I go out with Ferdy or don't I?
Helen, and lose the chance of watching me stuff myself? Now, you tell Ferdy you've got to do some research on a tapeworm. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond?
That's right, but I'm leaving now. Come back tomorrow.
This won't wait till tomorrow. My name's Duke Crandall.
How do you do?
Pretty well in the dark.
Yeah.
Rick, dear, I know it's a nasty habit, but I get so annoyed when people keep me waiting over an hour.
Oh, hello, Helen. Yeah. Well, I took a nap.
That's nice. Bye.
Honey, now wait a minute. 13 guys just beat me up.
What did he look like?
Well, he was very big and it was dark and I couldn't see him.
Maybe it was Ferdy Parker. He's really a brute at heart.
No, this guy was breathing.
Rick, did someone really hit you?
Honey, I may be kidding, but this bump on my head isn't.
But why? The man didn't just walk in and hit you for no reason at all, did he?
No, it's a hobby.
Rick.
Helen, if you don't believe me, just sit tight. I'm going down to the 5th Precinct to see Walt Levinson. I'll drop around and show you my bruises.
Hello, Rick. How's the... Well, what happened to you?
I got engaged. She was lovely. Used gunpowder.
Better get a beefsteak for that eye.
My eye's not hungry. What I want now is to find the guy, Walt.
Who?
Said his name was Duke Crandall.
Crandall? We've been looking for the Duke ever since he jumped bail on a blackmail charge.
Oh? Know where he is now?
If we did, he'd be in jail. How'd you get mixed up with him?
I wish I knew. He just came into the office and sold me a fistful of dreams.
You, sure it was the Duke? What did he look like?
Oh, I couldn't see him too well in the dark. He was a big guy. Wore a flashy plaid overcoat.
Yeah, the overcoat fits. Duke's a natty dresser. You can look over his record for yourself, Rick.
No. So you're looking for this guy?
Yeah, he's somewhere in the city. It's anybody's guess where.
What about this blackmail charge?
He was bleeding a city official. Duke used to work for Benny Rathman, the gambler. Some think Benny was behind it, but Duke's the only one we could grab off.
Who put up his bail? Rathman?
Yeah. Until now, we thought maybe Benny had killed Duke after he bailed him out, so he couldn't pin the job on him. Here, here's a package.
Don't worry, he's still alive. I got the bruises to prove it. What about this Benny Rathman? You think he'd know where Duke is?
Hard to say. If he did, I think he'd try and get rid of him. See, the DA's been trying to pin something on Ben for a long time. And if we find Duke and Benny is implicated in the blackmail, it'll be the DA's meat.
Oh, I catch. So if Duke's smart, he He let Benny bail him out and then goes in hiding before Benny can get to him. That'll make him twice as hard to find.
You're really going looking for him, huh?
Yeah, might as well. I don't mind getting slugged, but I'd like to know the reason why. Thanks, Walt. I left the 5th Precinct and hailed a cab. The fresh air made my head feel better, but my pride hurt all the way to the Blue Chip Club, owned and operated by Benny Rathman. As we pulled up, I lit a Camel, came to a little, and when I walked inside the club, I found a dissipated pianist playing worn-out love songs on a worn-out piano.
Hi.
Hi.
Like my playing?
Not particularly.
Me neither.
Your boss around?
Maybe.
Back room?
Maybe.
Alone?
Again, maybe.
Thanks for the brilliant conversation. Maybe.
I enjoyed it.
Hey.
Hello, Benny.
Well, Diamond. Don't you ever knock?
Only a gin rummy.
Well, grab a chair. Not every day we get a visit from thee, Richard Diamond.
Well, roll down your sleeves. Your goosebumps are showing.
I'm allergic to stupid remarks.
Benny, Duke Crandall used to be on your payroll. Where is he now?
Looking for the Duke, huh? Now, that's a coincidence. So am I.
And you just don't happen to know where he is, huh?
That's right. I put up bail for Duke, and then he skipped. I don't like that.
Go on.
That's all. Duke cost me a lot of money. Yeah, I'd sure like to have a little chat with him.
Mm-hmm. Only I bet Duke would wind up speechless. You know, if he's caught, you'll be in hot water, Benny.
So I've been in hot water before.
Not recently, I'll bet.
Keep it up. I may grow to hate you.
I'll work on it.
Look, Diamond, that blackmail rap's all Dukes. I'm an honest businessman.
For that line, you should be a comedian. Benny, did Duke ever mention my name around here?
Maybe. He used to swear a lot.
Oh, very funny.
Why all this interest in Duke, Snooper?
I owe him something, that's all. I'd like to pay my debts.
Oh, gee, I'm sure sorry I can't help you, pal.
Save the tears till I leave, Benny.
Wait a minute. Here.
What's this?
The address of Duke's old girlfriend. Name's Patty Carroll. She won't talk to me, but maybe she'll help you.
Well, it's worth a try.
And if you should locate the Duke, let me know, huh? I'd still like to have that little talk with him.
Maybe I will, if he's in any condition to talk. I left the Blue Chip and went across town to the flat of one Patty Carroll. Benny described her as a one-time girlfriend of Duke's, and when she opened the door, I had respect for Duke's taste. She had the kind of figure that drives architects mad, and any other type of man, too, for that matter.
Hi. You the television man?
Do I look like a television man?
How should I know? You're cute.
Well, thanks. So are you.
I guess they could have cute television men.
I don't see why not. But I'm not one of them.
Oh, shoot. 3 days I've been waiting for that set.
Heartbreaking.
Ain't it, though? My brother says, Patty, that's my name, Patty. He says you got to get a television set, see a lot of educational programs and such. He says it makes you appreciate the finer things in life.
Yeah, like radio.
So I get me a television set, but the guy ain't shown up yet. What do you want?
Well, I'm glad you got around to that. Honey, I'm gonna want a little information.
I'm no library.
I'm no bookworm. Mind if I come in?
All depends. You a gentleman?
All depends. I eat with a fork.
You sure look all right. Only I wish you were the television man.
Patty, at times, so do I.
Now, what's on your mind?
Duke Crandall.
Oh, you must be a cop then. Hey, I like cops. I used to think it was fun to date hoods, but my brother says, Patty, that's what he calls me. Patty, he says, you gotta quit running around with the hoods. So now I like cops.
Very commendable change.
Yeah. Hoods are always getting sent to prison. And who did you say you were looking for?
Duke Crandall.
Oh, yeah. I used to date Duke, till my brother said...
Where's Duke now, Patty?
I don't know. We broke up, Duke and me. He was always slapping me and ruining my makeup.
Look, honey, think hard, will you? Do you know any of Duke's friends who might know where he is now?
Let me see. Yeah, I know one guy, Joey Thompson. Him and Duke used to play cards every Friday.
Where does Thompson live?
How should I know?
Oh, just wishful thinking. Mind if I use your phone?
I guess not. Only don't be long. The television man might be trying to call me.
This'll only take a minute.
Homicide, Lieutenant Levinson.
Well, I got a problem.
Oh.
You know a guy named Joey Thompson?
Thompson? I know a Charlie. Oh, yeah, Joe Thompson. Yeah, I know him. Used to be a small-time pickpocket.
Where can I get in touch with him?
Last I heard, he had a legit job. Runs a watch repair shop on Fountain Street. You can get the address in the phone book.
Thanks, Walt. Call you later if anything develops. And thank you, Patty.
You leaving? Don't you want to stay and watch television when it gets here?
Oh, no, thanks. No. All that violence makes me nervous.
Well, drop in again anytime.
Hoppy goes on at 8, doesn't he? Patty had few brains and many curves and was the type you hated to leave. But Joey Thompson might lead me to Duke Crandall. And curves can be dangerous if you don't watch your speed, I always say. The hall outside Patty's dark, and as I walked down it, I had the strangest feeling that someone was behind me. 2 seconds later, the strange feeling became one I was thoroughly familiar with. Oh, the wall spun around, and I spun with them. But on the way down, I caught sight of what had hit me. An ugly blackjack held by an ugly hand sticking out of the prettiest plaid overcoat you ever saw.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, here is an important question. Will one puff or one sniff tell you how mild a cigarette is? No, but steady smoking will. Try Camels for 30 days as your steady smoke. Enjoy Camel's rich, full flavor. Let your throat tell you how mild Camels are. Pack after pack, week after week, hundreds of men and women from coast to coast made the Camel 30-day test under the supervision of leading throat specialists who examined their throats every week. Those throat specialists reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels. Start your own Camel 30-day test tonight. You'll get day-in, day-out proof of Camel's mildness and flavor. And you'll know why, after all the mildness testing of recent years, Camel leads all other brands in popularity by billions.
How mild can a cigarette be? Smoke Camels and see.
And now, back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
At approximately 5 p.m., I had been worked over by a man named Duke Crandall, wearing a plaid overcoat. 1 hour later, I received the second installment, again by the man in the plaid overcoat. Monotonous? You know it.
Hey. Hey, wake up.
Oh.
Come on, that's the boy. You all right?
Oh, yeah. Well, my head feels like a mashed potato.
I heard the noise outside. You shouldn't lie around on the floor.
Yeah, I know.
So I dragged you in here.
Oh, thank you, Patty. I'll remember you in my will, which may be in effect before long.
Who slugged you?
Oh, your old boyfriend, Duke Crandall.
Who's that bully? What's he got against you?
That's what I want to find out.
Here, let me fix that ice pack.
No thanks, honey.
Hey, now, you shouldn't get up now.
I know. I like to show off. Where's your phone book?
Over there.
Thanks. Now, let's see. Patty, what does T come after?
I should know.
Thompson. Oh, here it is. Thompson Watch Repair, 19 Fountain Street.
You going to see Joey?
That's the general idea.
I bet he won't talk to you. He can smell a cop a mile away.
Well, they can't shoot me for trying. On second thought, maybe they can.
Besides, maybe Duke ain't even in town. Maybe he's gone back to Arkansas.
No, he's still around. What did you say?
I said maybe Duke's gone back to Arkansas. That's where he came from.
Does Joy Thompson know that?
I guess so. Duke's always blowing about it.
Thanks again, Patty.
Okay. Say, you ain't going to drive in that condition, are you?
Of course. I'm too dizzy to walk. I stepped out into the hall. This time I looked carefully around to make sure no plaid overcoats were following me. The hall was empty, and immediately my head felt better. 10 minutes later, I arrived at Joey's watch repair shop on Fountain Street. I stopped outside, pulled my pants up too high, turned my hat rim back, and then went in.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
Well, my name's Harold Appleknocker from Big Lake, Arkansas.
Oh, how are you, Mr. Applesucker?
Appleknocker, Harold.
Oh. Well, you got a watch?
Watch? No, never use them. Down home, we go by the sun and the hogs. When the sun's straight up, it's noon, and when the hogs holler, it's dinner time.
Look, pal, we don't repair hogs. Now, what do you want?
Well, sir, I'm looking for a fellow named Crandall. What's that fellow's first name? Something like Prince or King or, I don't know. It's one of them royalty fellas.
Duke, maybe?
That's it, Duke. That's the fella.
You got the wrong place. Now, beat it.
Oh, doggone it, that's what everybody tells me. Sure wish I could find that fella, give him his money, and go back home. The city life is killing me.
Did you say money?
Yeah, that's what I said, money. Plain as could be. You see, my cousin Josh is one of them lawyer fellas, and this Duke fella's uncle died and left him some money. Uncle Josh sent me up here to find him, and doggone, I sure wish I could.
How much money?
Fred, I don't rightly know. But Uncle Josh says it's enough to buy a poke of pigs, 2 or 3 farms.
That'd be a lot, huh?
Sure would be, Fred, sure would be.
Duke could use some dough. You sure you're on the level?
Well, I think so. Had to come up a hill to get here, but I do believe
Never mind. You got the money for Duke?
Nope, but I got this here paper I'm supposed to watch him sign, and then Uncle Josh will send him the money.
Well, wait a minute. You stay right there.
So far, so good. Joey went into the back room, and I heard him dial. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I knew he was talking to Duke. 2 minutes later, he came back out.
Okay, pal. I'll take you to Duke.
Why, now, that'd be right neighborly. Only I don't want to take you away from your work, and you just tell me where I can find him.
Duke says to bring you. The shop will keep. Now move.
Joey locked the door, and then we went to his car and drove to the warehouse section. He pulled up in front of a deserted warehouse, stopped, and blew his horn twice. Pretty soon, a big man wearing striped trousers and a loud check sport coat came out of the warehouse and over to the car. This had to be Duke Crandall.
This the guy, Joey?
Yeah, Duke.
Okay, Hicks, start talking.
Appleknocker, Harold Appleknocker.
You dropped that business. You told Joey my uncle left me some dough. I ain't got an uncle, friend.
No, I was afraid of that.
Yeah. Now, what's your name?
How about a Swedish dialect? Got any uncles in Sweden?
Well, you see, Duke, I told you over the phone he was a fake.
Yeah, it's good work, Joey. Now, get out, bud. I want to know why you were looking for me.
I didn't know where you were.
Get out, he said.
Oh, all right.
Maybe somebody followed this bird, Joey. Drive back up the alley and keep a lookout. I'll take care of him.
Right, Duke.
In the warehouse, Buster. That's good. Now you better tell me what's your angle.
I suppose you tell me first.
I don't get you.
Well, turn on a light. My name's Diamond, remember? The guy you nominated for a punching bag.
You don't make sense.
What?
I don't know anyone named Diamond. There are your lights. I still don't know you.
You stand there and tell me you've never seen me before?
Yeah, that's right. I suppose you do some talking.
Well, all I know is that a guy in a plaid overcoat came into my office and said he was Duke Crandall. Then he sapped me. An hour later, the same guy in the same overcoat repeated the process.
So you came looking for me?
That's it.
Well, it's too bad. I'm going to have to take care of you, Diamond. You might just mention where I'm hiding.
Oh. Then Benny Rathman's really after you, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad that you had to stumble into this.
Well, I guess it just ain't my day.
This is a lonely place. Let's get it over. Wait a minute. Must be Joey. Hey, Joey. Joey!
Joey's taking a little nap, Duke.
What
Don't turn this way with that gun or you'll be a dead man.
The man with the threat was Benny Rathman, standing in the doorway with a .45 in his hand. And what interested me was his wearing apparel, a flashy plaid overcoat.
Well, Duke, you picked a nice hideaway. And thanks, Diamond.
For whatever you mean, you're not welcome.
For finding Duke, smart boy. You see, I knew you'd never take my money if I tried to hire you to find him. So I posed as him in this overcoat. I knew you'd get mad enough and look for him on your own.
Well, aren't you cute?
Thanks. It was easy. Tailed you, and you brought me right here.
Hey, look, Benny, let's talk all this over, eh? I wasn't going to rat on you. Hey, look, I'll even take the rap on that blackmail charge.
Okay, but... I like you, but business is business.
But...
No buts, Stookie. Now you, Diamond.
I was afraid you'd get around to that. But then I'm not really worried. You're not a very good shot, even at close range.
What?
You didn't even kill Duke.
Get him, Duke.
The ruse worked, and Benny turned around quickly. He was too far away for me to lunge at him, so I grabbed the next best thing, the light switch.
All right, Diamond. I should have expected some trick from you, but I've got lots of time. You've got no gun. Let's play cat and mouse, huh?
I crouched behind some crates as Benny came closer. He was right about the gun. I felt as helpless as a rabbit in a traffic jam. And then I noticed there were 3 crates piled on top of the one I was behind. It was a long chance, but better than none at all. Benny got closer, and I waited.
It'll be soon, Diamond. I'm getting accustomed to the dark now. I'll find that light switch soon, and I'll get you...
The crates hit Benny and knocked him off balance. I raced out and lunged in the general vicinity of a plaid overcoat. My left hand caught a flabby stomach, and the gun went clattering to the floor. Then my free right hand went hunting for a bobbing head. It found it. All right, Betty, get up.
Oh.
I beg your pardon?
Oh.
Well, I'll quote you on that. Now then, upsy daisy. Attaboy.
Oh, my head.
Hurts, doesn't it? But you know, Benny, you hit me twice today, and I've only hit you once. Now, that's hardly fair, is it?
How's your eye?
Oh, still at half-mast.
Here, put this steak on it.
That? That's a whole cow. You could feed a family with that thing.
Now stop pounding and put it on your eye.
Well, all right.
Notice anything different?
Yeah, it covers my whole face.
No. I mean about me.
No. New dress?
Mm-mm.
New hairdo?
Mm-mm.
Well, you're too young for new teeth. I give up.
New perfume. Smell.
Nice. Yeah. What's the occasion?
Oh, after you broke the dinner date, Ferdy Parker dropped in for a little while.
Oh, good for Ferdy. Did he make it under his own steam?
Oh, Rick, aren't you even a little bit jealous?
Of course not, honey. I'm broad-minded.
You mean thick-skulled.
Oh, Helen, dear, I was only kidding. I noticed something different as soon as I came in.
Oh?
Yeah. You finally got your piano tune.
Rick.
When we are dancing and you're dangerously near me, I get ideas I get ideas. I want to hold you so much closer than I dare to. I want to scold you 'cause I care more than I care to. And when you touch me in that fire in every finger, I get ideas. Oh, I get ideas. And after we have kissed goodnight and still you linger, I kind of think you get ideas too. Your eyes are always saying the things you're never saying. I only hope they're saying that you could love me too. For that's the whole idea, it's true. That lovely idea that I've fallen in love with you.
Rick,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also wearing a new lipstick.
Why, Helen, aren't we full of surprises tonight? Come here. And people feel sorry for me when I get beat up.
Dick Powell will return in just a minute. Camels lead all other brands in popularity by billions. And here's the reason. Millions of Americans have discovered Camel's rich, delightful flavor, a flavor no other cigarette has. They found out how mild Camels are, how well Camels agree with their throats. Start enjoying the cigarette that's enjoyed most in America. Start enjoying mild, flavorful Camels tonight.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1952, as in the past, the makers of Camels will continue to send thousands of packs of Camels to hospitalized men and women of the armed forces every week. This week, the gift Camels go to Veterans Hospitals, Wichita, Kansas, and Montgomery, Alabama. U.S. Army Station Hospital, Fort Custer, Michigan. U.S. Naval Hospital, Pensacola, Florida. And to the Military Air Transport Service, which evacuates virtually all overseas wounded personnel. Now until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Dick Powell can now be seen starring in the Universal International film You Never Can Tell. Tonight's transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond was written by Dick Carr with music by Frank Worth. Our director was Nat Wolfe. Virginia Gregg played the part of Helen Asher. Alan Reed was Lieutenant Levinson. Others in the cast were Herb Butterfield, Sidney Miller, Sandra Gould, and Sheldon Leonard.
There's more genuine pipe-smoking pleasure in Prince Albert. Let the singers tell you why.
The bite is out and the pleasure's in when you smoke Prince Albert. It's specially treated not to bite your tongue. The bite is out and the pleasure's in.
Pack your pipe with Prince Albert, the national joy smoke. The bite's out and the pleasure's in. And now there's more tobacco in every tin.
Listen next week for another exciting adventure of Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell. This is Your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
This I believe. W.C. Mullendore is the president of the Southern California Edison Company. He was born on a tenant farm in Kansas. While still in high school, he got a job as a stenographer and later worked his way through college and law school. Then he became a secretary and assistant to the Honorable Herbert Hoover before his election to the presidency. He is now also a director of a number of large corporations. Here is Mr. Mullendore.
When I was a sophomore in college, I was greatly influenced by reading Carlyle's Sartor Resartus. Perhaps I read it at a moment of serious questioning in my own life. In any event, in the philosophy of Sartor Resartus, I found what was for me a satisfying answer as to the aim and purpose of life, an answer to the ever-recurring question of the youngster, what is life all about? The answer which I formulated then, and which has served as a guide through life since that time, is this: we are here to develop the best that is within us. Since that which distinguishes the human from other animals is human nature, that is, the mental and spiritual attributes and abilities of the human being, it seems to me to follow that man should endeavor in his life to stress the development of his best mental and spiritual potentials. I believe in God as the source of truth, that man was given the gift of life on this earth in order that he might develop here the way of truth, that to search for truth is to seek to discover and to understand the laws of God. In the spiritual and mental world, the non-physical human world, and in the realm of human relationships, the individual mind, in pursuing truth, is met with the issues created by the eternal conflict between the forces of good and evil, of love and of hate, of justice and injustice, freedom and slavery, right and wrong, and similar opposites. The duty of championing the truth also requires that I enlist in the fight for freedom and justice when these requisites for human development are challenged within my sphere of influence. Conversely, I believe that one of the greatest perversions of this gift of life is to cultivate error, to spread the poison of hatreds, and to encourage those human weaknesses and traits of human nature which drag men down. I pass this way but once, and the time allotted to me is a very fleeting moment. It should therefore be my highest aim to utilize to the fullest this moment of time with which God has endowed me. There are the physical comforts and joys of life which attract us and sometimes absorb us. To be imprisoned in the physical, never to rise above the physical level, to spend one's life in mere pursuit of physical comforts and satisfactions, that I believe to be one of the great pitfalls of life. It is this pitfall which in our day has produced the materialistic philosophy of the socialist and the communist, and thus brought on the physical conflicts which threaten the foundations of our civilization. This period of crisis, wherein the forces of truth and error, of good and evil, are locked in one of the most intense struggles in all human history, offers those who are aware of the awful significance of this conflict a great opportunity for the investment of their lives. We could wish that the conflict had not occurred, that the forces of error were not so strong. But since the great issue is here, I believe this is a wonderful age in which to live.
That was W.C. Mullendore of Los Angeles, who is the president of the Southern California Edison Company.
Mr. District Attorney, starring David Bryan. Mr. District Attorney, champion of the people, defender of truth, guardian of our fundamental rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And it shall be my duty as district attorney not only to prosecute to the limit of the law all persons accused of crimes perpetrated within this county, but to defend with equal vigor the rights and privileges of all its citizens. This is David Bryan. In a moment, we'll bring you another case from the files of Mr. District Attorney. But first, a word from our sponsor.
And now, here is our star, David Bryan, as Paul Garrett, Mr. District Attorney.
One crime often breeds another, frequently a far deadlier offense. A simple burglary may end in murder, as in the case you're about to hear.
That the guy?
Yes, that's the dear doctor.
Psychiatrist, huh? Looks more like a jockey.
Let's go.
All right, where are they?
Right here on my desk. But he made me give him the key to the drawer.
I'll get it open. Why'd he fire you anyway?
I had the recorder hidden under the patient's couch. He happened to hear it this morning. Boom, that was it.
How'd you keep him from yelling for the cops?
I put on an act, bawled my eyes out, swore I'd just put it there for the first time. Can't you get it open?
I got it.
Dr. Jameson.
Well, lucky I forgot something and came back. More tapes. I can see I was wrong when I didn't call the police this morning. I'll rectify that mistake right now.
Give me that phone.
Bull, you knocked him through the window.
Grab up those tapes and let's get out of here.
Well, there goes the body, Chief. 9 stories. That's a long way to fall, Harrington.
Sure is.
Has the family been notified?
Yeah, Padway took care of it. Wife and 3 kids.
Have you noticed this desk drawer?
Yeah, pried open. Oh, I found this on the floor beneath it.
Yeah. Label from a can of recording tape.
I wouldn't want to call it suicide, would you?
No, not with this setup. Anyone else around?
The janitor. And he couldn't come up with a thing. Gave me the name of the office nurse. Pauline Colton. But he didn't know her address.
Well, why don't you see if there's an address book on the doctor's desk?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The lab boys get any prints off this drawer?
Yeah, I picked up something. Oh, here. Here's the doctor's book. Now, let's see. Colton. Here it is. Pauline Colton. 1436 Carrington Street, apartment 12. Evergreen 34221. Shall I call her?
No, why not ride out and see her? Let's go.
Who you calling?
Mrs. Charles Francis Palmer.
Now, listen, chick, you got some real juicy stuff on these tapes. But I'm going to argue with you about something. Your idea of what you're going to do with it just don't make sense.
What do I have to do, draw pictures? Mrs. Charles Francis Palmer's going to give me $500 for the recording of what her husband said during his psychoanalysis. I told you that.
Okay. She figures it'll help her get a divorce from the guy. But this thing's worth a lot more than $500. We got to make it pay off, chick. We got to make it pay off big.
How?
We ain't going to let Mrs. Charles Francis Palmer hear this tape. We're going to let her husband listen to it. Or another recording of it.
I won't do it, Bo. Blackmail's too risky.
What are you talking about? We knocked the doc out the window, didn't we? That's homicide.
Don't say that, Bo. It was an accident.
Try to tell the cops it was an accident.
Well, they don't know we had anything to do with it.
I don't care. We're going to get a lot more than $500 out of this, and we're going to do it my way.
No, Bo. This is my deal. We're doing it my way.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
I'm going to burn these other tapes.
Hey, give me those.
Don't me, Bo.
I'll let go of you.
You lousy gorilla.
Well, that'll teach you not to argue with me, chick. I'm a guy that likes his own way.
Where are you going with those?
I'm taking them with me. When you get some sense in your head, call me. You know the number.
1936. Hey, here it is, Chief.
Oh.
Apartment 12. Must be on the first floor.
Yes. Locked. Looks like we'll have to press the buzzer.
I'll get it. Hope she's home.
Well, you never know.
Who is it?
We're police officers, Miss Colton. We have to talk to you.
There we are. Miss Colton?
Yes, I'm Miss Colton, but I don't understand this.
You work for Dr. Leland Jameson?
Yes?
Dr. Jameson was killed in his office this evening. We're pretty sure he was pushed through the window. We thought you might be able to help us on a few things.
Pushed through a window?
Oh, that's right. We're pretty sure it was murder.
Well, but we'd better not talk out here. Will you come in?
Well, thank you. Well, incidentally, I'm Paul Garrett, district attorney. This is Mr. Harrington, my assistant.
Gosh, I don't know what to say. Dr. Jameson dead. I'm numb.
Are you hurt, Miss Colton? You've got blood on your face. That's a bad bruise.
Oh, no. It's really nothing. I fell against a chair just now.
Oh, in here?
Yes, as I was running for the buzzer.
No, I'm very sorry.
Well, don't worry about it. I'll be all right.
Miss Colton, do you mind if we look through your apartment?
Why would you want to do that?
Well, I must tell you, we can't do this without your permission. That is, not without a warrant.
And you don't have a warrant?
Not at the moment.
You don't need one. I don't know what you expect to find, but go ahead and look.
Harrington?
Okay, Chief.
I just don't get this.
You were Dr. Jameson's nurse, weren't you, Miss Colton?
Well, that's right. Nurse and receptionist.
Well, how long have you worked for him?
Let's see. About 4 months.
Dr. Jameson was a psychiatrist.
Yes.
I imagine he did quite a lot of psychoanalysis.
Oh, yes, he was in private practice.
Was it his custom to use a tape recorder during these sessions with his patients?
Oh, no.
But he did use a tape recorder.
Well, yes, but only for dictating letters and notes that he wanted typed up.
These letters and notes that Dr. Jameson dictated on the recorder, was it your job to type them up?
Yes, it was.
And where did you keep the tapes?
In my desk.
Locked up?
Yes.
Did you keep the key to the drawer?
I usually left it on the desk in case Dr. Jameson wanted to refer to anything.
Well, there's nothing here, Chief.
Okay, Harrington. Miss Colton, I appreciate your cooperation.
Well, that's perfectly all right. I've got nothing to hide.
Well, we might want to talk to you again.
Anytime.
I tried not to disturb anything, miss.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Good night, Miss Colton.
Good night.
Real nice and ladylike, Chief. And she acted as if she wanted to help us. But there's one thing that bothers me.
She said she cut her face by falling against a chair. And the only chairs she had in the room were all overstuffed.
Right. So she was telling a lie. Why?
Well, we'll put a tail on her. And tomorrow morning, I'd like you to call on several other psychiatrists in that building. Find out if they use tape recorders in psychoanalysis.
I'll get on it first thing.
Oh, it's you.
I haven't had dinner yet. I thought you might like to take me out to eat.
I thought we weren't getting along.
We weren't until the district attorney came to see me a little while ago.
DA, huh? Did he get anything out of you?
Not a thing. But he had a man with him who searched the place. I'd have had a bad time if they'd have found those tapes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you would. Looks like I saved you from something, don't it, chick?
You saved me from plenty, Bolt.
Hmm.
From now on, I'm with you. I think you're going to be good luck for me.
Well, that's the way to talk.
How about dinner?
Sure. Sure, we'll go anywhere you say. First, I want to make a phone call.
Huh? Who are you going to call, Bo?
The well-known president of our Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Charles Francis Palmer. I'm going to set up a date with him for tomorrow.
Hi, Miss Miller. Chief gone to lunch yet?
Oh, no, he's still in his office, Harrington.
Oh, good. Well, I talked to 3 psychiatrists, Chief.
What do they have to say?
They don't use recorders for psychoanalysis. Patients wouldn't like it. So the girl told the truth about that.
All right. She moved out of her apartment last evening and left no forwarding address.
Hey, that makes it tougher. Did anything come out of those fingerprints?
Yeah, nothing. They were all blurred up.
Which means we don't have a single lead on this case.
We've got to find one, Harrington. Dr. Jameson had some of the most prominent people in town as patients. I've got a hunch the thing is going to develop into an extortion setup. Unless we can stop it, this town is going to have its own reign of terror. This is David Bryan. Before we continue with Mr. District Attorney in the case of the Blackmail killer, here is an important message I'd like you to hear.
And now back to David Bryan, starring as Paul Garrett, Mr. District Attorney.
A psychiatrist had been murdered in his office, knocked through a window to the street 9 floors below. Tapes from a recording machine had been taken from the office, and we felt sure they were going to be used for blackmail. And the crooks proved us right in a hurry. They went to work without losing a bit of time.
Having accomplished what I had to do and started toward my next appointment, this, of course, made it necessary to take extra precaution.
Well, Mr. Palmer?
I never agreed to let anything like this be recorded. How did you get this tape?
What difference does it make? We got it, and we got copies of it.
I suppose you expect me to pay you something to keep this quiet.
You're lucky, Mr. Palmer. Your wife wants that tape. She wants to use it to get a divorce.
This is fiendish.
With that for evidence, she'd make a real monkey out of you in court. And when her lawyers got through, you wouldn't have enough left to pay the tax on a movie ticket.
Dirty blackmailer!
Okay, mister, you're asking for it. Now, you better stay down there, Palmer, or you'll really get hurt.
You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me.
Oh, take it easy. You'll kill him.
I'm just knocking some sense into him. That's all.
District Attorney's office.
Harrington, Miss Miller. Chief there?
Oh, yes, he is. Just a minute.
Hello, Harrington.
Chief, I'm down at Central Station in Captain Marr's office. They just got a report here I thought you should know about. Charles Francis Palmer was beaten up at his home this morning. Hey, wasn't his name on that list of Dr. Jameson's patients?
Oh, that's right. Who turned in the report?
Palmer's sister. She's indignant and wants something done about it. But Palmer refuses to cooperate. Won't sign a complaint or make a statement.
Maybe we'd better have a talk with him. You have his address?
114 Park Circle.
Oh, meet me out there. I'll leave right away.
Okay, Chief.
There's a spot. Right in front of the bank, too.
Well, that's a loading zone, Bold.
Who cares?
Suppose a cop comes along.
So we get a ticket. Oh, shut up. Here comes Palmer.
I've been waiting for you.
You got the dough?
I'll have to talk to you about that.
What's there to talk about? All I want's the dough.
I've got 5,000 here.
The deal is 10.
I can't get that much.
Go back there and get the rest of it.
I tell you I can't. I'm not as wealthy as you think.
Oh, look, Palmer.
Wait a second, Bolt. Give me the 5,000, Mr. Palmer. That'll be all right.
Oh, thanks. Here.
You're dealing with me, Palmer. I don't care what she says.
Go on, Mr. Palmer. I'll talk to him.
Yes. All right.
What are you trying to do? Be the mastermind again?
You were pushing him too far, Bolt. We got $5,000 out of Palmer. Let's start working on the other people on our list.
Hello, Garrett. My sister said you wanted to see me.
Oh, thanks for coming down.
I hope you're not here just because of this accident of mine.
Your sister insists that you were beaten up. She says she heard part of it and saw a man leaving the house.
I don't care what she said. I hope you'll forgive me, but I have other things to take care of.
All right, Palmer. It means we'll have to find some other way to handle the situation, but one way or another, we'll handle it.
I'm sure you will. Good day, Garrett.
That's a frightened man, Chief. Nothing freezes people up like blackmail.
Yes, you're right. Well, let's get back to the office.
Where are we going now, Bolt?
I'm looking for a phone booth so I can make a call. They can't trace you when you make a call that way.
If you're going to be that careful, why don't you play it smart all the way?
What do you mean?
Going to Palmer's house yesterday, we could have walked right into a trap.
Yeah, I thought of that. But how else are you going to do it? You got to let him hear the tape.
Why not mail him a piece of the tape?
Hey, kid, you're a real brain. And we meet him somewhere.
That's it. Be a lot safer.
Sure would. And that's the way we'll do it from now on.
Is the district attorney in, please?
Yes, he is. Who shall I say is calling?
I'm Miss Foy.
Oh, yes, just a moment.
Yes, Miss Miller?
Miss Foy's here to see you, Mr. Garrett.
I'll have her come right in.
Yes, sir. Would you go in, Miss Foy?
Thank you. Mr. Garrett?
Well, won't you sit down, Miss Foy?
Thank you. I came in as you suggested, Mr. Garrett.
Trouble?
Yes, a man called me on the phone last night. He told me he was mailing me a piece of tape recording. I got it this morning. I'm frightened, Mr. Garrett.
Miss Foy, if it makes you feel better to have a good cry, you go right ahead. But if you're willing to help us on this case, I don't think you have anything to worry about.
You really think so?
What did the man tell you to do?
Well, I'm supposed to meet him this evening at the entrance to Carroll Park.
What kind of an arrangement did he make for recognizing you?
I'm to carry a folded newspaper in one hand, a dog's leash in the other.
Miss Foy, I want you to go home and forget all about this.
You mean you're going to take care of the meeting?
That's right. You can leave the rest of this to us.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate your help and your understanding.
I want to thank you for coming in. That took courage.
I was scared stiff, but I'm glad I did. Goodbye, Mr. Garrett.
Goodbye, Miss Foy. How would you like a job, Miss Miller?
Dictation?
Something more to your liking. How would you like to play decoy for us?
The blackmailers? I'd love it.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, where's Harrington?
He said he'd be at the doctor's for the next hour.
Call him and tell him to check in here as soon as he's through.
Okay.
All right, chick, park it.
Want me to stay in the car?
That's right. Keep the engine running.
Why, is she there yet?
Oh, I can't tell with those bushes in the way.
Good luck, Bolt.
It's a cinch. Miss Foy,
Yes, I'm Miss Foy.
I guess you know why I'm here.
Yes. How much do you want?
3,000. Cash. Meet me here with it tomorrow night, same time.
All right.
And, don't bring anyone with you, understand?
I understand perfectly.
Okay. I'll be seeing you.
How'd it go?
It was a man, Mr. Garrett. He wants me to be here tomorrow night with $3,000.
Well, that's what we want. You'll have the 3,000, all right, and marked money. The moment he accepts it, we'll grab him.
Just keep walking, Miss Foy.
I've got the money for you.
Okay, okay, but keep heading for that car. Take a look, chick.
That's not Miss Foy.
Get in the car, you! Get going, chick, fast!
We're too late.
That guy slugged her.
One tail light, and they're heading through the park. Let's get back to the car.
Anyone behind us, Bolt?
Not right now.
Well, I'm going to slow down then. No use getting picked up for speeding.
How do you know this babe ain't the Foy dame?
Foy came into the office, didn't she? I saw Foy.
How do you like that?
We've got to do something about it, Bolt. She can identify us, testify against us.
Yeah.
All right, what?
Well, there's a ravine in the park.
I know. It's right ahead of us.
Pull over and stop then. Douse your lights. Keep it running. Come on, you.
You've got to come up with them, Harrington, and fast.
I'm wide open. Lucky it's late and there's no traffic.
Car parked up ahead. Kill the lights and get in behind.
Yeah.
Come on.
Mr. Nurse, I'll get her.
All right, this'll do it.
You'll never get away with it.
Oh, I think I will.
Not with me!
Hey.
No!
No, you don't. Come here.
Now, that's enough of that.
Hey, what are you... You're all through, mister. Who are you?
Watch it, Chief. He's got a knife.
I'll take care of that. Had enough, mister?
Yeah, just let me alone.
On your feet.
All right.
All right, head for the car. You all right, Miss Miller?
I'm fine.
I'm sorry I didn't get here sooner.
Oh, you got here just right.
Hey, this looks like old home week. I've got the other one, Chief.
Good. Now we can take them both downtown where they can dictate their memoirs to a police stenographer. Get in the car, both of you.
I want a lawyer.
You'll get one. But don't expect too much from him. With you, he'll actually be wasting his time. This is David Bryan again. I hope you've enjoyed this case from the file of Mr. District Attorney. I'll be back in just a moment after this message from our sponsor.
Now, here's the star of Mr. District Attorney, David Bryan, with a word about the program you have just heard.
I'm sure you read about this one in your newspapers. The people we call Bolt and Pauline were tried and convicted on counts of burglary, extortion, assault with intent to kill, and with murder in the first degree. Both are now serving long sentences for their crimes. And now this is David Bryan inviting you to join us when we present our next case based on the facts of crime from the file of Mr. District Attorney.
Mr. District Attorney was originated by Phillips H. Lord.